Anybody here?
Yeah, who is this call? It's still clicking
This
through.
is Catherine. I'm having video problems, so I might only, for some reason, it is not running the video part.
Huh.
Ooh, there we go. Let's get that. Run that.
Okay. Let's change the name on your phone. Can everyone hear me? It's still clicking through.
Yes.
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 Hello,
Yes, who is this?
this is Chris.
All right, Chris. Let's see. What number are you calling on?
605. The 605 number?
Is that Sarah Teal?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
I'm sorry, it's 650.
Let's,
Oh, look, and I got it. Okay.
Chris, you're on 512, what number?
2960081.
Okay. Okay, and then who's the caller on 512-300 number?
That's me, Bill. It's Linda Fobb.
Okay.
Hi, y'all. Oh, just,
And so we're dealing with cycle A right now, not the one that could come in the fall of 2020 or that we're getting prepared for it by the innovations that are being worked on, and not the 2021. We're really dealing with the here and now while we're planning for the future.
Ms. Woods, there was a lot of background noise on your audio. If you could, when you're not speaking, if you could mute, that would be a good idea. Okay. See Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We're still getting everybody on the line and identifying them first, so just be patient, and then I'll turn it over to Catherine.
No worries. You guys do what you need to do.
Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you, Lou.
Okay, I'm gonna mute the microphone.
I can hear you. I can hear you. It's Barry.
I can hear you.
All right. Who is on the 512-779 number? Could you speak?
That's Mr. Hawk.
Barry Hawk. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Hey, Barry. How's it going? Good. How you doing? Who's this? Chris. Hey, Chris. Long time no see. Likewise, yeah.
So we're still waiting for a few more people to connect. I will remind you that this meeting is being recorded and will be eventually available on the website. It's in accordance with the governor's order allowing us to have a remote meeting like this. So we've got a few more people coming. Hold on a second. Okay, let's see. Directors. Jana did advise that she was working and she might not be able to join us till about 7. We have Art Lewis, Catherine, Chris.
Oh, there's Bill. You know that.
Yeah, I know. Has the legs in his house.
Yep. He said to do 2 things today.
Here, you go out, okay? You
Well,
go out.
Beth Jones is connecting now. She should be with us shortly. So Catherine, since you don't have video, I guess you can't see.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're not seeing me?
I don't know what's going on.
It's right now. It's dark. You have a spot, but it's dark.
It looks like Catherine is called in and has a video. There's 2 Catherine Frankies there.
Right.
Yeah.
The video's not showing, Catherine. It's
That's
dark.
interesting. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it because I can see. I can see everybody else. Let's see. Disable now.
It just looks like Beth is trying to connect. So if you want to wait a second, see if she can.
Sure. Oh,
Catherine, go to the bottom of your screen where it says stop
I
video.
think I figured it out. Never mind. Got it. Okay, now do you see me?
Yes.
Okay.
So it looks like Beth Jones attempted but did not connect. So Catherine, looks like we have all the directors except Jana. And then
Okay.
I guess you can see all the other persons who have connected.
Okay, so let me get the names of the people who are going to make public comments. I'm assuming we've got Linda.
Yes,
And
Catherine.
Sarah.
Yes, I'm going to be making a public comment, commenting on agenda item 2, agenda item 15D, agenda item 15I, and agenda item 15L.
Okay. And Linda, were you just making a public comment or did you have an agenda item that you wanted to address?
I'm going to do a public comment. I'm going to address agenda item number 12, agenda item number 15G, agenda item number 19, and agenda item number 20.
Number 20. Okay, and Tawanda Woods? Tawanda, did you want to make a public comment? She's muted, so if she's talking, we're not hearing her.
Right.
Okay, I did it. I fixed it.
Okay.
Yes, this is Julie Potts. I want to make a public comment on agenda item number 2. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, and Andrew Hopkins.
Yeah, I'm here mostly just to observe and find out if there's anything that you need help from us. I don't have any public comments planned.
Okay. Okay, Michael Luster with Infomark, Hillary Burgess.
Hi there.
Were you going to make a public comment?
No, ma'am. I'm just observing. I'm like Glen Oaks HOA.
Okay. Okay, great. And we have somebody who is just 925999. Who is that?
That's Sage Management. I'll relabel it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to worry about that then. Okay. Then we are all here, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this meeting to order, and I'm going to open the meeting up for public comments. And Linda, Bob, you're up.
Catherine,
All right, and
before you do, could you ask each person to indicate when they're commenting, which agenda item they're commenting on, because they listed them so quickly I couldn't jot them down as they speak.
Okay, Linda, go ahead.
All right, I'll do what Lewis asked. That's not a problem. All right, my public comment. In tonight's packet is a letter on Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association letterhead signed by Beth Jones, asking this MUD board to recognize the ACC as a legitimate contributor to the deed restriction enforcement process in Anderson Mill West. Louis Zervigon is the secretary of the Voluntary Neighborhood Association, and in the past 6 months, he and Megan Dudo incurred over $4,000 in legal fees paid for with MUD district revenue in an effort by the Voluntary Neighborhood Association to find a way to have rights over properties in Anderson Mill West. The invoices for these neighborhood association legal expenses are posted on Community Forum Facebook page in the Transparency group. Is there somebody else talking? Catherine Franke is not only the treasurer of the neighborhood association, she is also one of the 3 people that make up the illegally impaneled ACC for this organization, and she is the person who submitted the receipts for the MUD district to pay for the legal expenses of the neighborhood association. I anticipate that Louis and Catherine will vote tonight in favor of recognizing their ACC as a legitimate contributor to the deed restriction enforcement process in Anderson Mill West, and by doing so, they vote against every other resident in Anderson Mill West, over 90% of the families that do not participate in the Voluntary Neighborhood Association. Their interests are self-serving. They are not protecting our rights. They are attempting to steal them. With what every resident in Anderson Mill West needs to know, the Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association and its illegally impaneled ACC have no authority over your property unless you choose to be a member of their voluntary association. It is only their members that may have some obligation to abide by their rules. The rest of Anderson Mill West is not obligated to any ruling or interpretation that comes from any part of that organization. Our deeds do not bind us to an association and do not support the current ACC. This MUD board cannot legally use anything, including interpretations coming from a voluntary neighborhood association, against non-members. It's really that simple. If you are not a member and are fined for any ruling given by an ACC in the future, or told you have to obtain ACC approval to do anything to your property, contact the community forum for the WTCMUD1 so we can help you understand and protect your property rights. Email forumwtcmud1@gmail.com. You want me to move on to the next one?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's number 12, prior and pending open records requests. This board has incurred over $160,000 in legal expenses over the past 29 months to thwart transparency. I want to make it abundantly clear that every batch of records we've looked at has uncovered undeniable malfeasance. To see these documents for yourself, visit the Community Forum's Transparency group on Facebook. At any time, this board can, and by TCEQ rules, must make public records public. If they did that, they would incur no expenses for open records requests because the records would already be readily available to the public. The ethics document you have published online indicates that you must do this, yet you do not. Other MUDs do it. The City of Cedar Park does it. That is what a transparent government does. Oversight of the beautification funds has revealed district revenue being used for self-interest like dinners for neighborhood association meetings, birthday parties, gift cards, and belly dancers for Lewis. Certainly all unacceptable ways to use district funds. There is a reason we are looking at the records, and they are proving what we suspected, a pattern of behavior by a MUD board that is unscrupulous and amoral, that lacks the competence to do their paid jobs properly, and that doesn't seem to be able to understand that they are bound by the same laws that govern every other elected official. Our local government officials should be holding themselves and each other to a higher standard. I'm moving on to 15G, Catherine.
Okay.
District rules governing violations of deed restrictions. At the November 2019 DRC meeting 4 months ago, Bill Flickinger gave you the green light to not enforce items in the deed that you choose not to enforce. Examples of items not being enforced include the single-family residence stipulation, yard signs, fire pits, and overnight street parking for a select group of residents. He thought it would be a good idea to publish a list of items you've chosen not to enforce. Since to date, no list has been published, the community forum will publish the list in the interest of equitable deed enforcement. I would like to point out to the people listening that each deed outlines the process in which a majority vote in that section alone can make a change to it. This board has decided to not enforce items without a vote of the people. That doesn't sit well with me. I feel very strongly that the board should follow the deed instrument's criteria of securing a majority vote before making these decisions, or at a minimum, explain the reasoning behind their decision to not enforce. That way, we can be sure that what they choose not to enforce isn't just another perk handed out to a select group, but rather reflects the will of the people. I'm ready to move on to 19.
Okay.
19 is the Budget Committee. Most recently, I began looking at the director's salaries and per diem records, which both the TCEQ and the district's ethics policy states are required to be available in the district office to every resident for inspection. They should be available at no cost, but I was forced to get them under open records. The records display not only a steak and lobster dinner, but also that some of the board directors were charging $150 for meetings that they took alone. The board member they claim to have met with doesn't record attendance on their own verification sheet, meaning one or two is falsifying the record. Verification of attendance are official records of this district and require a true and accurate recording of who you meet with and the purpose of the meeting, all of them. This is intended to be an official record of what you're doing for our district. It's not optional, and it does not mean you stop recording when you've exhausted the $7,200 a year per diem maximum. If every director does not know this as a basic requirement, then they are derelict in their duty to the residents of this district. Falsifying public records is a punishable crime. Also, charging the district $150 for a meeting with a vendor that's buying you dinner at the Roaring Fork, for example, is reprehensible, specifically because the board member in question had already claimed $150 for attending a meeting with the same vendor just days before. Representing the district and accepting gifts from a potential vendor violates the very essence of the standard of conduct in the ethics policy you yourselves put in place. Not to mention that it is a violation of federal and state laws, all of which every board member took an oath to uphold. And that, Catherine, is the end of my, oh wait, I have one more, number 20.
Yeah, number 20.
Number 20, report
Yeah.
from customer care. As instructed by the MUD through their website, I submitted questions on January 17th about the meter replacement program and the new electronic meters. Since I didn't receive answers, I have been left with no alternative but to request this information through open records. During the January 13th this is 20B. Okay, I've moved on to 20B. That was A at first, this is B. During the January 13th, 2020 DRC meeting, Louis Zerbagon alleged that they, in parentheses, have received complaints that I have been harassing residents. The following day, I requested under open records evidence of each complaint, the name of the person that lodged the complaint, and the date the complaint was received. On February 27, 2020, I received a response from Bill Flickinger stating the district has found no records responsive to my request. Once again, Louis Zerbagon has been exposed for making a false and defamatory statement against me in a public meeting. He had help this time from Natalie Bordeleon, the former vice president of the Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association, for she is the one he referred to that requested under open records the names of residents that have reported deed violations. She initially posted her conspiracy theory about me on social media. Louis recited her theory almost verbatim in January during a public meeting. It is, plainly put, gaslighting on both of their parts. Outright lying is what desperate people do when they attack those who question their actions. The lack of integrity displayed by this board in their behaviors, actions, and gross mismanagement of the district's revenue cannot be understated or ignored. It is exactly for that reason that the community forum exists and why we will continue to perform our civic duty of oversight of this MUD and all associations and vendors funded with revenue from this MUD district. And thank you, Catherine, for the time.
Okay. Sarah, you're next. Public comment, and then go on to, and announce your agenda items, please.
The public comment. Williamson-Travis County MUD number 1 provides deed enforcement restriction for Anderson Mill West through use of the Texas Water Code 54.237, which states, in part, a district may take all actions necessary to enforce the restrictions. I'm getting some feedback over top of what I'm saying. Can somebody take care of that?
Why don't everybody who's not talking go on mute?
A district may take all actions necessary to enforce a restriction, describing a restriction as a limitation on the use of real property that is established or incorporated in properly recorded covenants, property restrictions, plats, plans, deeds, or other instruments affecting real property in a district. At present, the Anderson Mill West ACC has no legal standing to exist according to the deed instruments in our neighborhood. The MUD granted the Voluntary Neighborhood Association a great deal of legal fees to evaluate whether they did, but they have continued to be unable to prove this standing to date. Agenda item 2. The flimsy letter that was written by the Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association Board President Beth Jones to try and weasel the ACC's illegal oversight back into the deed restriction process does nothing to justify a legally valid ACC according to our neighborhood's deed. The argument regarding what Milburn intended is a moot point. The language legally recorded in our deed document does not support the continued operation of the ACC. If all the legal fees that our district revenue paid for had turned up any real basis for a legal ACC, I assume we would have heard from lawyers and not Beth Jones. On the other hand, the community forum has a legal opinion from a well-respected real estate lawyer who indicates that the ACC has been illegally impaneled probably for decades. Maybe the past board director who is scheduled to make the presentation tonight can speak to whether he allowed an illegally impaneled ACC to operate during his tenure on the board. Agenda item 15D. Outside of that, the additional argument that there is some sort of legal documentation to justify the handing over of the position to the current members is patently false. There exists no legally recorded documentation of this type of transfer of power in the county records after the last recorded document presented in the letter from 1997. So even if the argument could be made that the ACC was allowed to transfer their authority, that hasn't happened in the legal sense for 23 years. The letter goes on to indicate that the board has the latitude to either accept or deny the interpretations that are offered by the ACC. According to the Texas Water Code, it does not. The code clearly lays out the expectation that the board must only enforce a very narrow set of restrictions, those that are properly recorded inside of a legal document. The ACC's rulings, because they are not legally impaneled according to the deed, do not fall into that category. Agenda item 15I. If you look at the legal letter from prominent attorney David Atwood with regards to our legal rights as property owners, you will see that he does suggest that those neighbors who have chosen to join the Voluntary Neighborhood Association, AMWNA, may be submitting to the oversight of the ACC by virtue of membership in the association, even if they have joined unwittingly. Since attending and paying for past events like the Easter egg hunt or the pumpkin carving was used as a means to boost membership in the Voluntary Neighborhood Association, some neighbors may have saddled themselves with additional property oversight without even knowing it. In the billing for the AMWNA legal fees, you can see Luis Dervagon in October visiting with the attorney to see if the ACC can foist the requirements to get building permission upon its voluntary members. My advice, if you have attended any AMWNA events and paid any type of fee to them, or if you have voluntarily joined and do not want to be forced to abide by an illegal ACC for building on your property or for extra rules related to unsightly articles, then you should err on the side of caution and formally unjoin immediately by an email or written letter that you keep proof of, so you can take legal recourse in the future if they violate your property rights. Item 15L. There are members that sit on this board who obviously believe they should tell neighbors what to do with their properties, regardless of the law and regardless of owners' property rights. It looks like the Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association has the same goal, to illegally trample those property rights. This is not only a gross miscarriage of justice, but represents the very worst in the corruption of government officials that can occur when a lack of oversight exists. Remember who votes to steal your property rights tonight, when it is time to make your way to the polls in November and vote for 2 new directors.
Okay, was that the last one?
Yep.
Okay, so Julie, you wanted to make a comment about, was it agenda item 2? Or did you want to make a comment during the meeting, or did you want to make a comment during agenda item number 2?
During agenda item number 2, please.
Okay. Okay, so Andrew, did you want to make a comment during the public comment section?
Time out. I'm a bit confused. I'm still like, okay, whatever. I would like to say something about agenda item number 2.
Okay, so hold on. Agenda item number 2 is after I've closed public comments, and then I will pivot to you. How's that?
Thank you.
Okay, okay. Andrew, did you want to make a public comment?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, so at this point in time, I am going to close the public comment section of this meeting. I would, however, like to make some comments about the disruption to our daily lives that is taking place. This virtual meeting is just another example of the unprecedented events happening around us. I have been heard to say the purpose of the WTCMUD1 is to make sure that when a resident turns a faucet on, the water comes out, and when they flush the toilet, the poo goes down. This only happens when attention is paid to our infrastructure, which until I was elected to this board, I will freely admit I took for granted. The other important responsibilities of the WTCMUD1 is to ensure the timely payment of the WTCMUD1 bonds and to safeguard the tax base securing these bonds. Because I believe these 2 important responsibilities are tied together, I'm asking the HOA boards from Valente Hills, Lakeline Oaks, Hunters Glen, along with the Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association president to continue to be present to these virtual meetings. As a community, we are in it together, and we're going to get through this together. At last week's emergency meeting, we discussed the need to review the current budget to identify those projects which are in process or haven't been started. I've reviewed the budget with Christy Hester, and we've identified line items to discuss during this meeting. The big ticket items in our budget will continue: water and sewer, fire protection, trash services, our bond obligations. We are fortunate in the position that the large infrastructure projects relating to our parks, ponds, community center, street lights were completed in prior fiscal years. This year's large infrastructure project is to review and plan for long-term maintenance in the district. Part of tonight's meeting will be discussing where we stand on this project. Inframark has reached out to our janitorial vendor to discuss adjustments to the cleaning contract as some of the facilities are closed. The biggest budget line that I see we have no control over is our legal expense for open records requests and restrictive covenants. The emergency declaration has resulted in changes in how we respond to open records requests. This will be discussed later in the meeting. Deed restrictions and their enforcement will continue to play an important role in maintaining the beauty of our community and our tax base. Also at last week's emergency meeting, we put on hold all the penalty fees and disconnects for non-payments during the emergency declaration. Fortunately, penalty fees are a very small dollar amount in our budget, and not collecting them will not materially affect our budget. As we come out of this emergency, the board will continue to work with those residents who were affected by the pandemic by offering payment plans. Last fall, I confided to fellow board member Luis Zervagan of my goal to create a 20-cent gap between the tax rate of the WTCMUD1 and Cedar Park. I felt this was an achievable goal based on our historical track record of lowering the rate. Last fall, Cedar Park crowed about their .00 something tax cut. Since I joined the board in 2014, the tax rate has decreased 15.5 cents. I continue to believe that we can significantly increase the gap between Cedar Park and the WTCMUD1. Let's work together and focus our priorities on maintaining our infrastructure and the tax base to make this goal a reality. Okay, Bill, I'm assuming that you've gone ahead and muted anybody who's not going to be making a presentation, continuing on in the meeting, correct?
Not yet. I was going to announce that next and explain it.
Okay, go ahead, do that.
And so after public comments, the members of the public that are not scheduled to be on the agenda item, I'm going to go ahead and you'll be able to hear the meeting. It'll be the same. If you were on the last meeting, it'll be the same as that. So I'm going to do that this time. If you are scheduled on an agenda item, I guess 2 and 3 coming up, we'll make sure that we make sure it's unmuted by then. It's really important on this network, the way we're set up, is to mute everybody that's not already muted, like consultants and so forth. Make sure you mute your microphone so you don't inadvertently interrupt someone else. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and mute the members of the general public still on the line, which it doesn't look like everybody's still on there, but I'll mute the ones. Okay, and okay, Catherine, I think you can go to the next agenda item.
Okay, so agenda item 2, presentations by neighborhood associations, and this, Julie, is where I want to hear what you have to say. Julie? Julie?
Here, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I'm so sorry. I'm old. What can I say? Okay. So anyway, I would like to, well, first of all, I'm Julie Potts. I'm president of the Hunters Glen Homeowners Association. And I would like to talk to the MUD board about the Sun Chase Park. And first of all, I want to thank you all so much for completing the bridge and getting that taken care of so that we are able to now walk around the park and make a nice circle and we get exercise, and it's especially now really, really important. I also see so many children and adults. I live close to Sun Chase Park, and I see so many children and adults walking in the park and enjoying the fairy gardens. Who knew? It's so cool. It's so great. And I thank you for whoever started that and who did it. And it's just been wonderful watching all the responses and watching the people, and myself included. I heard neighbors that were concerned about, I've heard from my neighbors and those in the area, concerned about the playground equipment that was removed, and lots of questions going on as to where did it go? What's happened? We went to the park. Our kids love the playground, and it's so close and it's just convenient right here. And so I've gotten to understand what happened with the playground equipment, and I'd really like to encourage that the MUD consider putting some sort of playground equipment in there for our children. Again, I see kids getting out, pulling up, getting out, ready to go run in the park to play on the equipment, and there's nothing there. So please, please consider that for our future kids, our future generation, excuse me. And then finally, I heard another suggestion, which I thought was really pretty cool, of putting a labyrinth in the Sunchase Park. And the more I've thought about it and been over there and looked at it, I think in the very back of the park would be such a beautiful place to have a labyrinth. It would, I do not believe it would be very expensive. And something where people can go if you're not familiar with the labyrinth. It's something where you could just walk and be in quiet and peace and meditate, think, whatever it might do for any particular person. So I'm asking if the MUD would consider doing something like that in the back end of the park, back where the bridge now connects to the back of the park. I think it would be a beautiful place, and it's lots of trees and it's peaceful. And so again, thank you for all you've done for our neighborhood and for Hunter's Glen. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, agenda item number 3, and that is presentation by former board president Barry Hawk. Barry, are you ready?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Barry Hawk. I live in Georgetown currently, and I'm interested to see how things are going. I was a director many years ago. Actually, I moved in, okay, a little quick history. Moved into the community like 1984, 1985 into Andersonville West. And I was there for about 3 or 4 years. And I moved over to Park Forest area, which is still in Andersonville West area. And then I moved over into the Twin Creeks area. And then I later came out this way. I got on the HOA board in about 1986 or 7, I think it was. And it was pretty much a very bad time, given the history back then. That was during the major recessions. Probably 30% of the homes there were foreclosed on, boarded up, etc. It was just very depressing. So we really geared up. It was no HOA fees at that time. But we did, try to come up with a revenue on our own and doing things with fixing fences and to keep the neighborhood decent. So anyway, long story short, I got very involved in doing different things. I'm a general contractor currently to this day. So I've always been doing that work, and I work for insurance companies, etc. But I was adamant that I had neighbors that came to the meeting. The meetings actually grew. We started out with 8 or 10 people coming all the time to the meeting. And when I took over, and I'm not boasting about it, but we got up to where we had 40, 50 people there that were very, interested in doing things. And big questions come about parking, the park itself, the Andersonville West Park. We want a park. I said, well, have anybody asked? They said no. So myself and Kitty Moore got together and went and met Mr. Milburn, talked with him on it. I got along with Bill Milburn very well, knew him very well. And so we worked diligently with Bill Milburn and Barney Reynolds, which was one of his vice presidents, and Joe DeQuinzio. And we got the land granted to us. I asked for that 5-acre tract, and I had to put on a presentation, etc. And it went real well. He said, I'll tell you what, I like what you said, and I'm going to give you the land. I'll deed it here right now, and I'm going to give you $500,000 in cash to get it started. So wow. That's when things started to change for the good. I almost fell out of my chair. He made me work hard for about 2 hours, begging pretty much, just telling him everything, how great he was and what he's done and blah, blah, blah. But long story short, that's when I took myself from the HOA and Kitty Moore took over, and I went over I was going to the MUD meetings and getting involved, with MUD as far as communicating with them. This is a very big issue because I went to the MUD, and this is when things changed. I went to the MUD asking them to assist us with the HOA enforcement. I said, because now we have the park, and now we're going to put a couple other parks in, which the Lakeline Oaks was on the wall too, because we had that planned. And so that's when we sat down and brainstormed, okay? Myself, a few other people that were on the HOA, and the MUD board at that time. they couldn't believe that we got that information, but I brought all the documents to them and actually provided them with the documents from Bill Milburn. And they were pleasantly pleased, but we didn't know how to start, honestly, dollar-wise. So we ended up doing grants. We got some grant writers and wrote grants. There was a lot of Texas funds out there that, you know, if you're doing something for children, and some of these wealthier oil people, et cetera, had money, they would match your grant. So the $500,000 got matched. That helped us get that park started and rolling. Let me know if I'm too long-winded. But anyway,
No,
that's how that happened. And the same thing with Lake Lion Oaks. We did the same thing. We took some of our money and did that. The fencing, I know some people have asked a question on the stone fencing. I stayed on that HOA and fought that with the mud board too for about 4 years on wanting to improve the community. So we went with the CMU wall. The CMU wall was about 2.5 miles, about $1.5 million to do. We used that out of bond money, extra bond money that we had, that we were in a predicament that Cedar Park was looking at us because they were growing just rapidly at that time. They were looking for every dollar they can get, and they were thinking at that time to try to annex us. And that's when I said, wait a minute, we've got to stop. We have to look out for our community. We need to do improvements for the community. And then I heard somebody saying earlier that, and that's pretty much what I did. I said, hey, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna, if we put the walls in these parks recreation, we're gonna increase property value. And when we increase property value, we can reduce our multiplier as far as the mud situation. And it basically happened. Things turned around and got working very well. Very nice people were very pleased there. Property values did go up. Now, I want to go back a little bit here. The ACC stuff, I was one of the first ACC people in the neighborhood in that early time. And I appointed one of our guys that he took over. Now, Bill Milburn appointed that stuff to us to take care of. He was done with it. And I'm hearing comments that people say there's no documentation, this or that. No, that intent was always to build these parks. That intent was also to enforce restrictive covenants, period. And we enforce restrictive covenants. So I don't know where the gray area is coming from that we don't have the right to do. I'm sad right now about what I heard of some of these comments. I mean, I can't believe that people are trying to tear that place down. So that's kind of where I am. If anybody has any questions for me, I'll gladly answer.
Well, Barry, we talked briefly yesterday, and your story about people not wanting the masonry walls really struck me as how times have changed, because the masonry walls really have been an unbelievable improvement to our community, and I don't think that there's anybody in our community who would argue that that was a bad investment.
No, it wasn't. It was probably the best thing that happened there.
Yes, and I think that it is just one of those things that, you know, has really defined us as a good-looking community. Because when I moved here in 1996, as I told you, I said you would drive down Hatch Road, and every single fence was being held up by, you know, stakes because they were falling down.
Or they were down. Yeah.
Yeah, or they were down. I agree. So, and I think we're just going through, you know, things, you know, pendulum swing left to right, and right now this pendulum is swinging. That's all I can say.
Right. Well, Galen Lyon was the person who I appointed, and like I say, Kitty Moore took over president. But I can certainly go back to that time. I don't always have, you know, every day write down exactly what happens in 10 years. But I mean, the community, it's a great community. It's really done well. And I just don't, I like to see everybody kind of get together and put the thing back up where it belongs. You know, I mean, restrictive covenants are important. They need to happen. Otherwise, you're going to have, the neighborhood's going to go the other direction.
Exactly. I'm just to share with you how I understand what you're talking about. I moved to Austin in 1990, and lived in the Millwood community near Palmer and McNeil. And I had many realtors tell me that the neighborhood looked so bad that they stopped even showing houses to their clients because they weren't going to bring them into the neighborhood. And that is something that's very important to me that we not allow to happen in our community, especially when we're facing this difficult time, I suspect.
Right. Well, Anderson Mill West was like that too. There were very nice houses in there back in that day, but you had to turn and go down the street. If you came down El Salito, the realtors the realtors were being told just keep on going. You know, the fence was looking so bad that people couldn't sell.
Yeah. Okay, is there anything else that you wanted to add to your comment?
I will say I heard a comment on the Bill Milburn situation that he did. Bill Milburn had all intent for what he did. Whether it's they have the document or don't have the document, I'm having to believe that that document is somewhere or has been destroyed by now. I don't know. But I mean, I was there to attest that he did care about that community. And he did want the restrictive covenants enforced. And he wanted that park built very beautifully. And he wanted Lake Klein Oak. He wanted all that area. That was all originally his whole plot of land, all of it.
Okay, are you finished, Barry?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you for your comments. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come be part of our meeting tonight. Bill, yeah?
We have another person's joined the meeting. Could you identify yourself, 512-796 number?
512-796.
Who is it?
91. Is that 91? The end?
If you could just say your name, I can see who you are.
Herb.
Who are you speaking to? Are you speaking to Barry or are you looking for somebody else?
No, not you, Barry. Somebody's calling in on 512-796-5691 number.
That would be Herb. Are you able to hear me?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been able to get this thing to work yet, so what do I know?
All right, so
okay.
it was Herb. Barry,
okay.
Barry, since you're done talking, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, but you're welcome to listen.
I'm going to do it. Gotcha.
Okay. Bill, what I wanted to do was to pull up onto the next point in the agenda, the presentation from the Anderson Mill West President Beth Jones, but I'm not sure which agenda item she's is going to come under.
We have agenda item for requests by neighborhood associations and homeowner associations. So it's going to be under 15L.
15L, okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pivot right now to agenda item 15L. And the Beth Jones, the president of the Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association, is going to make a comment. Beth?
Hi, good evening, all. Listen, I'm here, yes, with the ACC committee and the Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association, and we are here to ask that the board of directors with the WTCMUD1 to recognize that the ACC is a legitimate contributor to the deed restrictions enforcement and the process of Anderson Mill West, as it's been for many, many years. I hope that all of you have your letters and that you had the additional pages that I sent out to you. I'm really here to urge all of you and to accept this letter to the permit for Anderson Mill West for the ACC, and again to be a part of the DRC process. We are here to help everybody. We have always been here to help everybody. We feel that the letter and the materials that we've been furnished to everyone here, that it speaks for itself, really. And that, you know, it's that we are here to help everybody. I think that's something that's really important. It's been going on for years and years, and that these deed restrictions and this enforcement It's been an invaluable resource for everybody. And today we really need this more than ever for what's going on in our country. And you know what? I heard somebody say in the beginning about these letters and fines and all this happening. You know what? Today we've got Jimmy. Jimmy's going out there, Jimmy Angus. He's been out there talking to people verbally and helping them understand, because we have so many people that move in and out of our neighborhood. Most people move in for our parks, they move in for our schools, and he's been talking to them individually in case they've not read what the deed restrictions are, to help them understand. And then usually they're like, oh, well, of course we want it to stay nice and for everything to be good. But he's really been fantastic at being able to do that without the letters having to go out and having to have fines. When you have that personal communication, it really does help a lot. It makes it more personal. These conversations help keep the enforcement in process. It makes our community beautiful, as we all know and love, which we've heard tonight. And instead of the threats and the fines, I don't think that we've had that many. And you know what? Last, that we are here to help. And let's have those movies in the park. Let's have those activities. We don't want that stuff to go away. We want to be a big part and to keep continuing to grow and to build on what we have. It's been fantastic. So I don't know if you have anything else that we need to say, but I think it's important that you guys know that it's invaluable, especially during this time. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay, so.
Question, Catherine?
Yeah, go ahead.
That she's made presentation. Let's ask Mr. Flickinger, would it be in order now for the board to consider the request of Anderson Mill West, or would you suggest that be done at a different agenda item?
Okay. Well, let me address that the best I can. When we received the complaint about the operation of the ACC, we received this letter from an attorney, and then we received an additional complaint after that. It was part of a series of complaints that we went ahead and assigned it to a special committee of Jana and Art, and then we responded to that complaint. And at that time, the recommendation was that the board did not have to take any action at that time, because the ACC, Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association, had decided to stop functioning in light of the litigation threat. So my recommendation was that we would await official word from Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association as to whether they want to reactivate their functions regarding the ACC. And at that time, I would look at the information they provided and formulate a recommendation to the board. And so based on that, we have some information to review. I would suggest that I review that information and perhaps also work with the committee we established, Art and Jana, to see if more information is needed, number one. And number two, to come back with a recommendation to the board as to how they respond to this request.
Okay, have the other board members had a chance to read the documentation that has been submitted by Anderson West Neighborhood Association? And specifically,
I have.
Yeah, and so you understand what it is, and Louis, jump in here if I'm not getting it quite right. Basically, what we found, and I'm going to say this is not what Linda Fobb's attorney found. He didn't go looking deep enough for the recorded documents, but what we had was the complete chain of events from Bill Milburn passing his authority on to the Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association, ACC. And so that is what Beth is asking for you to review and to accept and to prove that the ACC for the Anderson Mill West is a proper authority. Louis, did I get that about right?
Yeah, let me suggest a couple of things. First of all, the position of the MUD attorney has been for years that the MUD is not in the business of making a legal opinion as to the validity of any HOA or ACC, that the MUD instead would rely upon the assurances of the HOAs and the ACCs as to their validity to act. However, we have never been faced with any legal challenge to that, nor are we now. We have a legal opinion written by an attorney, but there has not been a legal challenge. So what we sought to do was to establish that the ACC has from the very beginning been operating in a proper fashion. And as I understand it, Bill, what you're suggesting is that you want time to review the material that's been submitted and then come back with your recommendations to the board. Is that correct?
That's correct, Louis. Let me add to it. There's really three parts to the participation by the ACC or the Anderson West Neighborhood Association with respect to how the district operates on deed restriction enforcement. The first is what I would consider merely advisory, to get input from them where it's not really binding on anyone. For example, on maintenance of property, there's a general restriction that's not very specific on how you maintain the property. But if the Anderson Mill West ACC has a suggestion of height, like they have in the past, I think of 8 inches, that's something that we can, as a board, MUD board, take into consideration as advisory on how we would interpret the maintenance requirement. That doesn't really require the ACC to be legal in the first place. It's advisory. The neighborhood association is an active organization in the neighborhood. We could take input from it. So that question is a lot easier than the other two questions. The other two functions of the ACC basically are in the declarations and subdivisions where they have authority to deem articles unsightly. That's an ACC function. And if there's a list of unsightly articles in there, but if it's not on the list, then it's up to the ACC to deem that unsightly. That would require true legal authority, which is something I would want to review more carefully. And then the third is the authority to approve or disapprove improvements, modifications to your house. And in that case, if, for example, if the ACC is functioning properly and they deny your improvement, then you are in violation of the deed restrictions. That's something we can enforce. If the ACC approves it, that means that no one could challenge the improvement, even the MUD. We do have a situation, it's not the same, but we have a situation in Hunter's Glen too. There's no functioning ACC. So those residents, if they build some improvement, we've taken the position that we're not going to deem that a violation because they have no ACC to go to. Here it's a little bit different. So yes, in short, I would like more time to review, maybe do some legal research, maybe even get some more information before I give an opinion to the board on those three aspects.
And Bill, would you want a motion from the board to refer this to you, or can we just simply accede to your suggestion?
I think you can just do it as a directive. I don't think you need a motion.
Okay. So
Okay.
I don't have any opposition to that, Catherine.
Okay. So thank you, Beth, for making this presentation today. We will look forward to discussing this in more detail with Bill once he has had a chance to review the documentations from that we got from Williamson County. Okay, so let's move on to agenda item number 4. Emergency items to be considered if not fully addressed at the March 20 special meeting. Bill, what have you got?
Catherine, you recall we did approve an emergency order with some changes that we talked about at the last meeting. Since then, I'm sure everybody knows that Travis County and Williamson County have issued stay-at-home orders effective today. And especially the Travis County order has some provisions that require governmental entities to determine essential functions and designate employees and contractors who are necessary to perform those functions. I'm not really sure how that's going to be reported to the county or how that's going to be supervised, but that and there's some other provisions that might require immediate action in between meetings. And so I shared with you before the meeting, but I would propose we add another provision in the emergency order in addition to what we approved last time. And I can, let me grab that and I can read it to you. So what I would propose is we add a new section 7 that would come before authorizations that will say authorization to take any and all action due to any federal, state, or local government orders. The board president is authorized to take any and all action necessary to comply with the orders issued by federal, state, or local governments. And the reason I'm recommending this, this is changing almost daily, and there'll be obligations imposed upon the district. And I feel that'd be appropriate to give that authorization to the president so that we don't have to have a bunch of special emergency meetings.
Okay, so we're going to need to make an amendment to the resolution that we passed last week.
Yes, this is a change to what we did last week that would replace the last order.
Okay, so is this one of the items that you sent us?
No, this one was just revised today. So
oh, okay.
I haven't sent it to everyone. It's not one of the attachments.
Okay, it's not one of the attachments. Okay. Okay, so somebody's going to need to make a motion to approve this new motion. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so this is Louis speaking. So Bill, as I understand it, I can move to add section 7 to the temporary emergency order, providing for authorization to take any and all action due to any federal, state, or local government orders. The board president is authorized to take any and all action necessary to comply with the order issued by federal, state, or local government. And that would be a new section 7, which would shove the former section 7 into section 8, correct?
That's correct. But actually, what you read, there is one typo in what you were trying to read,
Yes,
where it's necessary. The word "in" is a typo. I would fix that. But yeah, as you read it, that would be the appropriate motion.
Yes. Okay, so the word "in" shouldn't be in there, correct?
Correct. That's a typo.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you made that motion?
Yes, I did.
So we need a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, is there any discussion? So Bill, what are we anticipating is how we're supposed to be responding to this? What I know things are changing, but what exactly do we think is going to happen?
As far as responding to the county, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, what are they asking for us to tell them? I mean, I'm assuming that there's not going to be they're not going to be telling us that they want patrols to keep people in their houses.
No, actually, I don't think they'll be requesting anything from you immediately. As time goes on, there may be some interaction with the county to be sure that all the governments are complying with the order. So, but it is instructing you to take certain actions now. And so it's important to comply in case, well, it's important to comply because it's a crisis, but in case the county comes back and asks you if you've actually done these things. For example, designating the essential functions and the people who perform those functions, make those functions and contractors and employees exempt from the stay-at-home order. So if you deem them essential, then you need to come to work.
Got it.
Yeah, and I think it's important to point out that the county may make some issue some orders about people staying inside. If such a thing should happen, that would be a police function, not a MUD function. We don't deal with those kinds of enforcements.
Okay, so we've got a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Say aye. Aye.
Lewis says aye.
Mark says
Hey,
aye.
so, hey, Bill, I'm looking at my interface here, and there's this little raise your hand button. Can we use that to signify that we're voting? Can you see that? Can you see that?
I don't see it. But I see the reactions one. Are you under more?
Oh, there again. I pushed it. See, there's my hand. Do you see my hand? Lower hand. I think that's what we should do.
No, I'd suggest until we get more proficient at using the system that we just do voice votes.
Let's just do a voice. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Can you demonstrate again, Catherine, so we can see your hand?
Yeah. Okay. So I pushed the little button. So I'm looking at the little panel on the right-hand side, and now my hand is raised. Do you see it?
Yeah, she's looking at the participants panel. If you click that up, yes, Catherine shows a blue hand showing now. So very clever, Catherine.
There we go. Okay. Okay. Agenda item number 5, payment plans for district customers during COVID-19 virus crisis. Do we have anything additional since the last meeting on this topic?
I'm not aware of anything on 4, 5, or 6. What we covered really was number 7.
Okay.
I put all those on there just in case we either missed something or we weren't able to have the meeting on Friday.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so there's nothing then for agenda item number 6, then temporary moratorium enforcement of deed restrictions, because nothing's changed since we took care of that last week.
Correct.
Okay, then what about agenda item number 7, temporary emergency order delegating the authority?
Yeah, we just
did that one. Yeah, what we did was we did them out of order. Number 4 was a temporary moratorium on the disconnections. We don't have anything on that one either. Okay. Okay, now let's go to agenda item number 8, report from the district engineers. And Herb, you're up.
All right. Well, I heard I was unmuted, so I think what I got to do is do this and then call in. Is that right? I must have missed those directions. All right.
Herb, you need to speak louder or get closer to the microphone. Can you get closer to whatever microphone you're using?
Yeah, let me think.
Herb, we can't hear you at all now. I think we lost your phone.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, he doesn't have a mic.
You can't hear. Why don't you try to call in again, Herb, and we'll come back to you.
Okay.
We can't read lips either, so. All right.
Okay, we'll wait for him to call back. This is, the fun of virtual meetings. Okay.
He's back.
Is Herb back? Yes, he is.
Can you hear me or not?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, I can barely hear y'all, but that's okay. As long as you can hear me.
Oh, yes. Oh, we can see you now, too.
Okay. Christy, I don't know if we kind of do these all together. The water accountability was at 92%. I don't know if you've got anything else to add.
No, I don't. Not on that one. We're good.
Okay. On the bond issue, Infomark completed the water and wastewater, or the wastewater valve and fire hydrant review. They forwarded us the data, and we're currently working on getting that GPS data and updating the plans on that. We have not been able to meet to go over to find out of any issues from those inspections to see what needs to be put together on a list. So that'll be forthcoming. On the sanitary sewer, the wastewater transport completed their work. They have forwarded us the report. We're reviewing that, and we'll be providing more information at the April infrastructure meeting of findings related to that. On the Badger meter pilot program, Christy, that's really on you. If there's anything.
Yeah, that's an agenda item later.
Okay. The streetlight mapping, Infomark has provided our office all the GPS data on that. We're currently working on that map as well. Actually should have most of these maps done by next week. We'll get those out to the infrastructure prior to the meeting so they can review and provide any comments. On the Sunchase Park drainage channel and the footbridge, that work has been verified complete. We were just able today to get to that stage where we could inform Infomark. The board did approve the payment last month contingent upon our office signing off on it. So that's ready to go. They've been informed to release that check. I think that's going well. The other thing that came up is a request to look at basically some kind of channelizing or railing up to the bridge coming from the trees up to it. So we've already met. Actually, we have contacted a contractor to discuss that, bring more information to the April meeting, infrastructure meeting with that as examples and probable pricing, if any. On the Phase 5 sidewalk improvements for the maintenance, we've got pricing being put together. We'll have that information for the April meeting as well. Along with that pricing will be for the level up. And then we've also got a couple of remove and replace sections that will need to be addressed. And then from the Parks Committee, they had been working with Williamson County on doing some striping for the school zones. And we're going to have pricing to add a couple of accessible ramps at the intersection of Kristen Lane and Old Mill, as well as a proposal to add an accessible ramp at Old Mill and Sunchase. So those are all forthcoming for next month. We'll have those numbers together. We're also currently working with the vendor to come up with some cost-effective ideas to connect the sidewalk from Sunchase down into the Madaluke Pond, where we've currently got that. We're going to look at it, but we've got a couple of sections, not just that ramp. There's a couple of outfalls that the trail goes over that we're going to look at also, including, I believe there's 3 different sections, and then we'll have that to look at here in the near future. And outside of that, unless you've got any questions, that's all I've got.
Okay. Okay. So let me get my agenda up here real quick. Hold on. Okay, so let's go to agenda item number 9, report from the district's landscape contractor on landscape maintenance. And I believe you're here. I'm trying to remember. Scott, you're here. There we go. Scott with Sunscape Landscaping.
Hi, everybody. How are y'all?
Real good.
Great,
I was expecting this was going to be a in-person meeting, but now it's a virtual meeting. So you're just on voice. You're not on video.
Just on audio. That's correct.
Okay, that's fine.
So this is obviously the first meeting that I've attended with y'all in this fashion, but I did want to just kind of bring up right out of the gate, just with everything going on out in the world right now, that we are operating. We're fully operational, and so you're not going to experience a lack of service or anything like that. We are considered essential, and we put our own internal practices into place to follow the CDC recommendations. So just kind of wanted to give you all a little bit of peace of mind with that, you know, your property value is important, and maintaining all the investments and landscape is important to us, and we just want you to know there's not going to be a disruption in service.
Okay.
If anybody has any questions about that, Christy, I'm going to be sending out we've always had to put a lot of this together all last minute, but I'll be sending you, Christy, and probably Lee and Andrew as well, just some general information on what we're doing and how we're operating and what that means. It's definitely a challenge.
Scott,
Yes.
I appreciate that. Just make sure that you include Mackenzie as well, please.
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't see she was here.
Thank you. Mackenzie Scales.
Oh, okay, I see it. Okay, I'll certainly do that. But that's it. Just wanted to let you know we are taking precaution and having to adjust how we operate, and just like everybody else. And just wanted to let y'all know that that's we're doing what we have to do.
Okay.
Scott, this is Luis Zervigon. I've talked to Mackenzie a couple of times about the obligation that you have to put herbicide on the the crushed granite trails. We've got some vegetation now. We're getting the spring growing up on those trails, and it's something that has to be done on a regular basis.
Yes, sir, Luis. I sure am aware of that. We have treated them once, and it's going to take possibly 2 more treatments, but it is on our radar. Discussed it at the Parks meeting as well, and I'll make sure and get that taken care of and update everybody with some photos.
Great, thank you.
And so while I've got you here, how do we treat the Velcro weed that is growing all over the place? Is there, I'm assuming you know what I'm talking about.
I do. Yes, Velcro plant. It has several different names. It's a cool season weed, which is great because it's warmer weather. Mother Nature's gonna do a big part of it.
Oh, okay. So we really don't have to worry about it. It's just gonna go away on its own.
Yeah, it's not like a noxious weed that's gonna fester and just take over the world. But it is tough to treat. It kind of has an oily skin to it, and this is kind of another PSA, but we also do not use Roundup anymore since they started discovering all the new issues with Roundup as a post-emergent. So just so you're aware, we're not using that product on any of our properties anymore. So we've had to make changes there too. And there's plenty of great products out there that do what we need it to do. It's just Roundup was so good for so long, people got used to it.
Okay.
Does
anybody else have any questions for Scott? Okay. Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate you taking time to come be part of our meeting. Okay,
absolutely.
so
thank you all for having me.
Yeah. Agenda item 10, report from the security patrols, increase, decrease hours for patrols, etc. Okay, this was one of the line items that Christy and I talked about as, do we need to make an adjustment to this line item as a result of what's going on in our community right now? And there was an attachment that was sent out. It's agenda item 11, page 3, budget year to date. And Christy has highlighted those budget items that we could look at to, lower our costs this year. So there's no school right now and the parks are closed. So the question I have is, do you feel that we need to make an adjustment to the security patrol, or should we just continue to go as it is? My personal feeling is to continue as is, but I also have a suspicion that the constables might find themselves that they're going to be called on to work more hours, so they might not be available even to work the hours that we want them to.
That's true. I've already been notified by Kevin that the county has said that they cannot work any additional hours and that they'll be working for the county only. He's assured us that this will not leave us in the district unattended, but when this begins to happen, he will notify us, and you will no longer see timesheets coming in from the constables.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is this is really sort of out of our hands. The expectation is that there's going to be a slacking off demanded by Williamson County, so that we're not going to get the service anyway.
We're not going to get the service specifically for the district. There will be a security plan for the whole county, and we will still get, because I see them right now, we will still get Williamson County Sheriff's Department in the district.
Okay. Does anybody have any other things to add? Because I'm thinking there's really nothing for us to do from a change in hours.
Catherine, this is Louis. The posting that we have on the COVID-19 page, the new page we have on the website, is a little bit confusing in that regard, because it says that they're assigned to the Sheriff's Department, and then it says they're still providing patrol services. When in fact, what I understand from what Chris said is that they're providing patrol services now, but they're subject to being pulled back to support the sheriff at any time. Is that correct, Chris?
That's correct. But until we hear otherwise, they're still providing patrol services.
So I think, Christy, it might be a good idea to try to clean up the language on the posting on our COVID-19 website.
Okay.
It says they're not providing services, then it says we're still providing services. Okay.
Okay, so is everybody, nobody's saying anything, everybody's agreeing with me that we don't need to make any changes to the situation right now?
With respect to security?
Yeah, in terms of, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk later about the budget items, right, Christy?
Right. Okay. Budget item 11, report from district manager. Okay, is that going to be you, Christy, or somebody else on the line to handle that?
And there she is.
Oh! Hey, have we figured out how to do screen sharing so that you could have your report up in front of you on the screen?
Yeah, if you give me just a second, I can do that.
Woohoo! Okay.
I didn't have it pulled up yet, so give me 1 second. I have paper forms in front of me. Where are you? Come on. Sorry, my PDF opener is very slow right now. We're getting there.
Are we gonna have to select share screen for that to happen?
No, I think it would be I'll have to select share screen, and then there might be a view that you need to switch to see that rather than the group view.
Yeah.
Okay. See if it's Okay. Let me know if you guys can see the PDF.
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. Okay. So obviously we're going to start off here on the executive summary. As Herb stated, we were at 92% accounted for, so we're still doing good there. Also, the valve and hydrant survey has been complete. We've gotten that over to them, and all of your AMI inventory has been delivered. As far as collection system goes, the collection system televising and cleaning is complete, and those reports have also been sent over to Herb, I believe. And then this is something that we're also gonna, I'll give you guys some pictures of, but at 1601 Texas Oak, we had an irrigation leak after that thunderstorm that was pretty brutal quite early in the morning, around like 5 a.m. And it appeared that due to possible lightning that it blew some bricks apart and basically erupted an irrigation head. I'll have pictures later. Obviously, Sunchase Bridge, electrical lines have been secured. This was supposed to be a better proposal, and this is really Jana's baby at the Parks Committee, but we are looking at getting some owl houses, and I unfortunately don't have any pictures of them, but we do have 2 prototypes at the Lakeline Oaks building, and we were looking at getting some of these installed at Sunchase, Anderson Mill West, and a few other parks. And we wanted to propose this to the board, but I think I'm going to ask that we hold off because I do think that Jana wanted to have a portion of that. So we'll just try to bring this up at the next meeting, especially since nobody's really going to be out and about doing much right now. And next, we are pursuing a spring rider replacement for the snail at AMW. It's just taking a little longer than expected. We're not getting the quotes that we would like to get for that, so we are pursuing better, more affordable options. The trash cans were actually replaced today at Lakeline Oaks. So the 2 that have like the cage looking thing around it, both of those have been replaced. They look gorgeous. And the Sunscape tree planting has been complete. A lot of you have probably seen those around. They did an awesome job with that. We already got a report from Scott. But I think we wanted to touch on if he had any additional information on what could possibly be going on with those trees at Anderson Mill West. I think he may have already hopped off the call, so we can go ahead and skip over that. Can't see the full view. Catherine, can you see if he's still on?
No.
Okay. So, and to be honest, he hasn't given us any updated information at the moment, but what they are looking into is telling us what trees are viable that we could use in other areas of the community as random things that we can think of, and what trees would not be viable and that we should just get rid of. And then based on the disease that they had in the tree for however long it's been there. And then up at the top, I do have a not to exceed request for approval for replacing the tennis court lights at Anderson Mill West. This could be potentially something that we could hold off on, given the current circumstances. The park is closed. There's no reason to go ahead and run with this. So we can either readdress this at a later board meeting, or if you would like to approve this now and we can push it out as a several month start date sometime in the later future with the given circumstances, that's totally fine as well. We did pull the reports. These lights were replaced, I believe, the last time in 2012. We had to rent a lift for the lights and all of that jazz. So the quote to not to exceed is right about what we're thinking we should be at with renting a lift, labor, and materials. So if you guys would like to approve that now, great. If not, we can hold off on that for a few board meetings before hopefully this whole COVID-19 is blown over us. And then moving on to infrastructure. So we did review the infrastructure at the infrastructure meeting, the sewer backup letter, and we've revised it. I didn't attach one. I actually left the revised one on my desk at the office and haven't been back since. So I'm gonna have Cody bring that home one day and go ahead and send it out. Then the information committee, we met and discussed the possible use of the Google Drive for board packets and the committee reports, and to have access to with the access of using it via notebooks. So this is still very up in the air. We're working more with the Google Drive and seeing what basically availability and choices we have as far as that goes, especially with regards to legal and things like that. So this is just a little update. The information committee will meet again to discuss it further before we bring it to the board for approval once they move to do so. Other than that, we got an insurance claim submitted for the vandalism disconnect, and the ceiling fan at Lakeland Oaks was replaced as well. So,
Okay, so tell me what you meant by go down to the bottom. What was this, an insurance claim for what?
So the Anderson Mill West disconnect that was ripped off the wall at the last
That's right.
meeting.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so how much did they give us?
No, we don't know yet. I literally just submitted it 2 days ago. Once we got basically all the information in. And also, I did talk to the lead maintenance tech, Robert Seibel, who is working on getting that completely fixed. And they are considering putting a fence around it like we had suggested. And in doing so, keeping it under the budget of a not to exceed 7,500, which is what you've already approved. So that would keep people away from it. I will give you guys an update once we hear back from them.
Okay. Okay, so let me ask a question. So the light. Once we decide that we want to do it, how long is it going to take to do? Because I'm thinking that this is one of those things we can just wait. It's not going to get done.
I definitely agree. I don't think that it will take forever to get done. It would be, we can put in a work order to have a few extra guys come out. We just have to know that basically what it will determine is when we can rent the lift to do the lights. So as long as those companies can come back whenever this is all done with and said that, you know, that would be the determination of how long it would take. I personally think it could wait because the parks are closed. There's no reason in doing it right now. Really, nobody should be using the tennis courts. So I definitely think that it can wait.
Yeah, that sort of leads me up to, is it possible to deactivate the security cards so that you can't get into the court?
I do believe so. Lee could chime in on that. I'm not entirely sure how hard it would be, if it's an individual thing or if it's just everybody doesn't have access anymore kind of thing.
Okay.
Lee, do you know?
I think I can do a blanket kind of, or stop the cards from working. That should work. Yeah, for everyone.
Catherine, we can look into it and then we can review at the Parks Committee meeting.
Sounds like a plan. Well, then I'm going to suggest that we not worry about the replacing the tennis lights right now.
Perfect.
You know, we can totally take care of that next month.
Or later, depending on how long this lasts.
Say that again? Or no, don't think that way. Don't think that way.
I want it to not last that long, but you just don't know.
Yeah, I know. Was it hope for the best, plan for the worst, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else?
No, I was just going to go over the rest of the report. So
Go ahead.
we were, total number of accounts billed, we were at 1928. And then total gallons used was close to 10 million, I'm sorry, consumed. And then as far as total billed, we had 174,581. And then this is your revenue category by category. All is well with that. You guys are familiar with these things. I did want to note here on the delinquents, as far as tags hung on and then disconnects for non-payment, this number is actually a little wrong. So on the day of disconnects, we actually found out there was only 4 that needed to be disconnected. So this is actually 4, not 8. And then on top of that, I did want to go ahead and note that all of those were connected by the 11th. So anyone that was disconnected, all had been reconnected as of the 11th of the month. So nobody is obviously still currently disconnected. And then other than that, brings me to our lovely little pictures. So this is that 1601 Texas Oak. I did want to say thanks to Sage. They had called in and reported what looked to be like a water leak at 1507. And we sent the maintenance tech out because there was a lot of water in the road. And that's what I think Jimmy had noticed on his normal neighborhood run. So Cody went out and he actually investigated this. It was at 1601, which was the neighboring house. And what it appeared to have been, because if you look, these bricks are actually mortared together. And it seemed like it had to have been struck by lightning or something in the area had, because it blew the bricks apart. So we did actually help them shut off the water portion strictly to their irrigation so that they could get that fixed. It was a very elderly lady, and she was very timid to answer the door, even for the maintenance tech, who was just trying to let her know that he was going to have to shut the water off. And unfortunately, her only family is her son, who lives 3 hours away. So he actually got on the phone with him. They discussed it, and Putty was able to shut off just the water to the irrigation, not her whole house, so she wouldn't have been without water. And then in doing this at 1507, when he was investigating this, he actually noticed that 1507 had a gas leak, and that we assumed that again, from the possible lightning strike from that storm, it had basically blown up the box in their garage and shot it across the garage and fried it. So, and potentially saved their house from catching on fire, because the gas leak, you could not only smell, you could hear it hissing. So it had to have been pretty bad. And then I wanted to let you guys know, which most of you would have probably noticed at the Sunchase Bridge opening, we did have some lovely graffiti in the back there, and we got that covered up just before the bridge opening. But that concludes my report, unless you guys have any questions.
Okay.
I have a comment.
Okay.
I think Mackenzie is a remarkable lady, and I think we can tell Patricia that we don't miss her anymore.
Oh, that means so much.
Sending her the text now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's number 11. So number 12, pending prior and pending open records request, costs incurred by district, etc.
Catherine, can I interrupt?
Yes.
11 has another part to the financials.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Let's do the financials. Who's doing the financials?
Christy, am I doing the financials?
Michael, if you would like to do the financials, go for it.
All right.
Okay.
Not sure what page this is in your packet, because I'm working off the original report I sent, but I hope everyone can hear me all right. Worth noting, you're at almost 95% on your tax collections through February. That's a little bit behind last year's pace, but there's no reason to believe that you won't reach the 99% that you do every year and that we budgeted. In terms of revenues are year to date about 102,000 better than budget. Most of that is water service being ahead of what we budgeted for it. In terms of expenses are under budget, so better than budget by 113,000. So year to date against budget through February, you're at 239,000 better than budget. Let's see, skipping ahead, I think the next thing I wanted to comment on is the operating fund balance. We're projecting the forecasted operating fund balance from the budget when we budgeted, when we were guessing what it would be, we were guessing that it would be a little over 2 million. Now we're looking at a little over 2.1 million. So we'll see how that plays out. But at this point, we're doing better than budget. So no surprise that we're ahead of that. The check register, I do actually have some supplemental checks. So let me see if I can manage the share screen trick that was being done. And then let's see if I can figure out how to pull that up, because I do have the supplemental check register here. All right, so everyone can see that. So the red line, below that red line are the 4 supplemental checks. I did want to note that there's 2 missing check numbers there. I inadvertently printed a report on top of the first 2 checks I had already loaded. So those are void on the system. They didn't show up on this report because then I guess when I didn't have them dated today's date for some reason. So they're there, I'll pull them back in. But that's why those 2 numbers are missing. The 4 supplemental checks are for the directors per diems. They had sent in requests. I had not had them when I was preparing the packet. So I went ahead and paid just 1 per diem to each board member. But there were additional per diems, and so that's what these are. Art told me, don't worry, he'll catch up next month. So that's why there's only 4 checks for that. That brings the total for approval at the meeting. people are in my way. Now I can't see it myself. Where's that
You
total?
you can just move them. You can move the little screen over, Michael.
There we go. So assuming I'm looking, yes. So the total is 323,41409 with those 4 supplemental checks. Okay, so at that point, I think I can stop sharing that. And I believe the only other thing I wanted to comment on the financials, let me skip ahead here. Well, we have our regular monthly transfers for taxes and the operation checks. And then the report has all the not to exceed amounts. I don't think there's anything else in it that I wanted to point out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, so where are we on getting signatures, getting that third signature on?
That's up to Christy.
I think we need a motion to approve the amount that has to be paid.
Yeah.
Right, I agree.
And I'm reluctant to give it because I didn't see it and Michael read it off. How about if I just say that I approve the payment of the amounts as described by Michael
Yeah,
Love?
$323,414.09.
That's exactly what I had in mind.
Okay. I'll go ahead and second that. Does anybody have any more discussion? No? Okay. All in favor? Say aye. Catherine says aye.
Aye.
Chris says aye.
Louise says aye.
Okay. Is there Art says aye in there?
I lost you on my screen. Hold on. What happened?
We see you, Art.
Oh, well, I say aye.
Okay. Okay, we're good. Okay, so I'm going to ask, because I'll ask the question again. What is going on with getting the third signature?
So Catherine, what we did is the Bills and Invoice Committee reviewed all the invoices, and we have 2 signatures on all the checks, with the exception of the supplemental checks that Michael showed on the report that were behind or below the red line. So I'm going to ask, we're going to send an email out to the vendors as well as the directors that during this time that we really ask everyone to have their invoices into us by the last week of the first month. So by the Friday of the first week of the month, we need to have all the invoices in that are going to be included in the packet. That way we can have 2 signatures on all the checks, and then we can just finalize with 1 signature left. So the situation that we're running into now is we have these supplemental checks that we just printed today that I need 3 signatures on. That poses a bit of an issue, but we'll make it work this time. But going forward, while we're in this pandemic, just to make things easier on the staff and able to get all 3 signatures, I would ask that everybody get their per diems in and their invoices in very early so that we can get it in the packet. And we'll make sure Michael and I will send reminders out at the first of the month for that, and to the consultants and vendors.
Okay, so do I need to come in? Do I need to come in someplace and sign checks? What do we need?
Yes, they are there at the WTC office on Lee's desk. So they have 2 signatures. I will come in tomorrow morning and drop off the supplemental checks. So they'll all be there. So I'll need to find 2 board members that can come in and sign those other checks. But the majority of them are there that just need 1 signature. So Catherine, Lewis, or Chris can come in and sign.
I can go in. This is Louis.
Yeah.
I can go in if you just text me and let me know when it's time.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, so the one problem that I perceive that we have is I don't have a key to the office. So
Neither do I. I think that key was changed. The general key we had that works for the storage pantry in the kitchen is different than the key to your office.
Sage, do you have a key?
Yes, we do. We can go and open it up if you need us to. Just tell
Okay,
us what
so-
time to be there.
And I'll make sure that the board members get keys to the office as well during this time, so that way y'all have access. But we'll figure it out. Louis, I'll get with you tomorrow and let you know when you're ready to sign those checks. And then I'll circulate the other checks around for 3 signatures.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, is there anything else with the financial report?
Christy, I put the budget analysis as agenda item part 3 that you provided today, has highlights on certain amounts.
Right.
Did you want to point those out now as part of your report?
Yeah, I think it would probably be good to go through that. Catherine and I reviewed it today. So it's agenda item 11G.
Part
Are you
3,
able?
it's really part
Yeah.
3. It's the last attachment, but it's
Actually, I think it's called budget year-to-date review.
Yep.
Yeah.
So does everybody have that so that we can go through it?
Are you able to share it?
Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know. Let's see.
I have it.
I have it. I can share it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you,
Okay.
Michael.
Hang on, I'm opening it up. Well, assuming I left. Go. There we go.
So what we did here, as Michael's working on that, is we took the year-to-date numbers and our annual budget, and we highlighted some of the items we thought are going to be impacted by the COVID-19. So there we go. As you can see on the revenue, the impact we think is going to be relatively small. Service penalties, this is where your disconnect fees, NSF fees, deed restriction fees are. So year to date, we're at 14.7 and we had a budget of 15. So that's going to be impacted over the next few months because obviously we're waiving these service penalties and disconnect fees. But that's a minimal, very small amount for your revenue. Investment interest is going to be impacted, but again, that's going to be a very small amount. Your annual budget revenue for investment interest is 40,000. So we're seeing rates drop now to under a 0.5. And obviously the income for your building rental will have an impact, but again, you annual budget of 8,000, that's really not gonna make much of an impact at all on your revenue. Do you want to go down to the expenses, Michael?
Yep.
All right, so more than likely our conferences this year, I believe they will probably be canceled. So we'll have a little bit of a savings there if that does happen. So we highlighted that one. As well as doing the virtual meetings that we're having now, we're going to save some on meeting expenses. So that one again is highlighted. And if you'll go down, we just talked about the patrol services, several scenarios there, schools closed, parks closed, the office is closed, and probably the most biggest impact there is they just will not be available to us. So more than likely that may be a larger impact on your expense side where you might have a little bit of savings. The holiday special events, that may be something that we just move back later in the year. If you'll go down, and again, that's a small amount, $7,000 if you'll go down. Catherine spoke a little bit earlier. We have contacted the janitorial company to see if we can reduce our cost on that. Since our restrooms at the parks are locked up and closed, there's no need for them to go out there. And then the office building as well is pretty much locked up and all the reservations have been canceled. So we're going to move that down to once a month on the janitorial services for the building. So we'll have a little bit of savings there as well. Some of the larger projects that we want to look at is just getting with the Parks Committee because there's some larger budget items for park improvements. We've got 50,000 in park improvements and then another 40,000 in some of the landscaping improvements. So we'll get together with the Parks Committee and rack and stack what priorities and what projects we have out there and possibly move those back toward the latter part of the year and prioritize those. Power washing the district walls, that was one that it's not a necessity, so we looked at highlighting that one. And then the sidewalk repairs, that's a pretty big one. We budgeted 40,000 for that. And I know that Herb is working through that, so we might just, as the infrastructure committee, review that when we have our next infrastructure committee meeting.
The infrastructure committee has already decided to recommend postponing the sidewalk repairs.
Perfect. So we're all in line. And then, of course, we've done all of our surveys, as Herb mentioned in our reports earlier. So the valve surveys, hydrant surveys, and the collection system survey has been completed. So now we're in the phase of just reviewing that. So I put over here in the notes, obviously the invoice hasn't come in. So we've got a lot of invoices that are hanging out there that should pop up probably before the next board meeting. So I just put notes in there, but this is just something to be aware of and look at things that we could potentially cut back on during this pandemic that we're in. And hopefully it does blow over soon. Questions, comments, compliments?
Yeah, compliments. Well, I was going to say that, when we were going over this budget, there wasn't an awful lot of extraneous projects going on. This year, the whole focus was going to be on planning for the future. Like I said in my opening statement, we have completed a lot of the major park and pond improvements. So now we're coming back to the beginning and saying, okay, what does our infrastructure look like? And let's make sure the water comes out and the poo goes down.
So,
10 years from now.
So this is Luis. I have a question. The item 9702, tree trimming maintenance, is that tree trimming around light poles or is it something else? Do you know?
Yeah, so I think that's a little bit of both in the parks and around the light poles. So when we looked at that one, we're only going to do things that are of an emergency. If it's a hazard or if it's something that's causing an issue, those are the ones we're going to look at. It's not just to lift the canopies in the parks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Christy, you don't have a total, do you, for all of these possible cuts?
I do not, but I can do that and send it back out.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Also, Christy, I don't know if you want to mention it now, but we did get this letter from Waste Management. This, what they call the pre-force majeure letter. Did you want to mention that to the board?
Yeah, I sent a response to the committee. I'm not sure where we are with waste management. I am talking to another vendor, TDS, that we work with very closely in several communities, just to be on the safe side so that we've got something going on. If something happens with waste management, we've got a backup plan and we can get somebody in there ASAP. So I'm in conversations with them and I'll work with the committee on that. Bill, to you, what does that look like to you? What do you get out of that letter?
Well, it's not a notice that they can't perform. It's a notice that they might have trouble performing. And frankly, we have force majeure clauses in every contract, but we rarely have to use them. Usually they're used like in isolated events where there's some kind of storm or event that affected a certain area, but epidemics is not something we have. Normally shut down businesses. So I don't think this means they won't perform, but I think it is good for you to look at options.
Okay, so I'm not familiar with this letter that you're talking about. Have they sent us a letter saying that they're concerned about their ability to perform on their contracts during the pandemic?
That's correct. I don't know if someone can share with you. It just came in apparently yesterday, or was dated yesterday.
Okay.
Paul told me that they sent those to all their clients.
Christy, can I get a copy of that letter?
Yes.
I think Christy already emailed it to you and Chris Rocco. It should be.
I didn't see it.
Today. or yesterday. Was it today or yesterday?
I believe it was yesterday. I don't know. All the days seem to be
Might have come
falling
from,
into
I think Lee sent it originally to Christie.
Bill, what I'll do is I'll forward it. Do you have it? You have it, Bill. Could you forward it out to all the board members?
I can try.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I didn't see it either.
No, it didn't go to the full board. It just went to the committee at this point.
It just went to the committee?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, where are we now? So, okay, now are we ready?
I have it, Christie. You don't need to send it to me.
Agenda item 12, prior and pending open records requests. And what I wanted to do, Bill, did you have that little brief report that shows what the status is of all the open records requests? And then let's talk about what's going on with open records requests during this, while we're in this emergency order. You there?
Who are you talking to, Catherine?
Bill,
Anybody?
I'm back. I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, you're back. Okay.
Okay. So attachment for agenda item 12 on your invite was our report, and the board asked us to prepare a report that listed the pending open records requests.
There it is. I found it. Yeah. Okay.
Also, behind that are the open records requests that were actually completed since the last report. So that gives you a report on the activity. And so those I think they're self-evident as to what we still have to do and what we did. The impact of the virus on open records requests is provided for by the AG. It's basically if you have your administrative offices closed, or even if you're just down to a skeleton crew, the business that those do not count as business days for responding. So you have a pause in counting the days while the event is occurring. And we've proposed that the email address that receives open records requests will have an automatic reply informing the requester of that event. And so, Catherine, I guess you and Lewis have been looking at it. Lewis was okay with the auto reply. Hadn't heard back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had responded back. Yeah, I'm okay with the auto reply. I think that's more than appropriate.
Okay, and so we'll get with Lee and get that on the auto reply. So requesters will receive that information, which includes a link to the AG site. That doesn't necessarily mean we won't try to work on these requests. It's just that the deadline won't be, the deadline will cease to run while we're in this event.
So if I'm understanding what's going on is normally you've got 10 days, the clock has just stopped while we're in this emergency order. Am I saying that correctly?
Generally speaking, yes, that's correct. And then on the request where we've already provided an extension and a deadline, you'll see some of the current requests are due March 30. And so in this event, that March 30 will not be the actual deadline. It'll be extended by the number of business days that we have not been able to function at full capacity.
Okay. Okay, and I've got so many things open, trying to keep them all straight. Okay, is there anything else that we wanted to discuss on agenda item 12. I think if you've got your packet open, you can see what our current there we go. What our current year-to-date for the fiscal year is. We have spent $62,741,000 in direct open records requests, and we've got an indirect cost of over $10,000. So right now, we're 5 months into the fiscal year, and we've spent basically a little over $73,000 responding to open records requests. Okay, so agenda item 13, district rate order. Is there anything that we need to discuss with that, Bill?
Well, I think so. I think we should discuss it, and you can decide if you want to take action. Every year, you recall, City of Cedar Park sends us a letter on the fire protection fee, and we normally we kind of get it late. You know, they always send it to us after the effective date, so we're a little bit behind. Some years it's been a substantial increase. One year, I think last year, was actually a decrease, which is very odd. But what we put in your packet, agenda item 13, is a copy of that letter, which just increases the amount by 83 cents. So it's going from $24.14 a month to $24.97. And then behind the letter is a red line of your rate order. And the change that we've inserted in the red line is just on the fire protection rate. And it's on page 9 of the rate order, which is probably page 11 of the PDF. About 2/3 of the way down, we inserted a sentence that says, beginning with the next billing cycle following March 25, 2020, which is today, the sum of $24.97 times rate unit based on meter size shall be collected by the district for fire protection services. This is typically how we handle every increase. And so if the board's so inclined, we could approve this tonight just so the rate order is up to date. It really is not that significant, but it's probably a good idea to take care of it as soon as we can.
I move that we accept the rate order change.
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Catherine says aye.
We say aye.
Okay. Okay, so it sounds like that passes. Okay.
All right, so Bill, I'll need to get a copy, I guess a clean copy of the rate order so I can get a signature on it and get it over to our billing department so that we can get that in the system.
Okay, we'll get it to you in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so what's next?
This is Lewis. Are you planning to offer a bathroom break sometime?
Sure. Why don't we take a 5-minute break? That's fine.
Thank God, Lewis.
I'm running to get something to drink. Okay. Catherine's back.
The fact that I'm still here is not relevant in any way, shape, or form, but I mention it anyway. Hi, Catherine.
Okay. Okay.
Looks like Janet's connected.
Oh, good. There we go. Okay, let me know when everybody's back.
Paige back.
Hi, Janet, can you hear us?
Hey, y'all.
Hey. Chris and Art and Louis back?
Art's here.
Louis is here.
Change your lights, Louis. You're bathed in yellow now.
I'm here,
Okay.
and I have no idea if you guys can hear me.
Oh, we can hear you. Are you on video?
Yeah. No, just audio, but I have a break, so I thought I would chime in.
Okay.
Hey, Jana, sorry to interfere, guys. I was gonna ask, do you want to do a little bit of commenting on the owl houses?
Well, I think now it was time, since it's kind of past owl housing.
Yeah.
I think we should wait, but I
That's
think
fine. I just wanted to get your 2 cents on it because it was still an agenda item.
I didn't realize you guys talked about it earlier. Well,
I told them I wanted to wait for you.
Oh, okay, thanks. Well, my thing is I mean, there's like so many, mice and critters around that it might be a good thing it was time, and it's such an inexpensive project, and I don't know. It's up to y'all. I mean, if you guys have already talked about it, not a big deal.
We definitely did, and I wanted to save it because I felt like it was kind of your baby, your idea, and I felt like you deserved to put in your 2 cents on that one. But if we want to hold off, we can definitely hold off. But if not, we could possibly get a few since they are pretty inexpensive. I think they are $40 for the smaller ones, which are the ones that we know we need because we don't need the larger ones. And I think we came out to a total of less than $300 for the ones that we wanted to purchase. So I just wanted to give you the chance to say yay or nay.
Catherine, what do you think? I think it's still a really good idea to get them. It's a good price right now. I would make a motion to buy the owl houses. It's from a local vendor right down the street. I think we should do it, and as soon as Infomart can put them in, it's not a rush or anything, but I think we should do that. What do you think, Catherine?
if I'm willing to support you if you want to move forward with it. Like,
Have you told us what the cost is, and do we have a budget item?
So they are $40 for the smaller ones, and I think we had agreed to getting about 6 total, maybe 7. And that comes out to a total of roughly $280. So let me turn my thing on so you guys can see me. So that comes out to about $280, and I think we decided that we would have put 3 in Sunchase, 2 to 3 in Anderson Mill West, and possibly 1 at Hatch. And basically we can install them with our maintenance tech. It's not an additional cost to have them installed or anything like that. We did discuss with Scott that they wouldn't hurt the trees, so there's nothing to worry about. It's like 2 or 3 screws, I think, that you screw in. But the person that did them actually, or that makes them, is local to the neighborhood, and he actually gifted us a large one already. So, because he had a prototype and he was like, I just needed to get rid of it. So even though we're not going to use the large ones, we do have one of those already.
And did we make a decision as to where we were going to put that one large one?
I think we decided, just in case if a larger owl does inhabit it, to keep it away from possible just any large rodents that it doesn't need to be eating, to put it further in the back of Anderson Mill West in the like tree area where there's not a whole lot of activity, where there's not the DG trail or anything like that off into the trees.
Yeah, and that was also, can you guys hear me still? I can't see anybody.
We can.
Yeah.
That was also an idea for Hatch Pond, because we have those very large trees, but they have smaller limbs. And as long as they are not facing the wind area, which I'm thinking is north or south, so the little owls don't get cold, I think it'd be a good idea, because I know there's a lot of tiny little mice that hang out at Hatch Pond. So y'all think about that.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so are we ready to move on? Okay, we took care of the rate order, right? We finished that, right? Right, Bill?
Did I do a motion or not?
You need a motion for the owls?
Or do you want to wait on it?
I think we should wait on it. Let's talk about it in next month's meeting.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Okay. Bill, correct me if I'm wrong. We did complete number 13, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So now we're going to go to our committees. And so let's talk about, number 14 is report from the Parks Committee. Good timing, Jana. So right now we're at our next Park Committee meeting. We're going to review our budget to determine what projects we can put on hold as we sort of decide how we're going to weather the current storm that we're in.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of, is there anything else that we need to be discussing, Mackenzie or Christy?
Well, can you guys keep me up to date just for the last, if you have talked to anything about it before I got here? Did you guys chat about it before I got here?
Well, no, we haven't talked about anything about the Parks Committee, but one of the things that we did was that we sort of had Christy presented an overview of our budget, and we looked at some budget items that we thought that we could make some adjustments in. And right now we've spent the money. We've already done the tree planting at Valente Hills, and then the 10 trees in the district that we were going to do. So what we're going to do is go back and each committee is going to go back and look at their project. So with the next time we meet, we're going to go back and look at our projects to see where they are and what we need, if we need to put them on order or on hold for the remainder of the year, or look at it like at August or something like that.
Oh, that's great, because I was thinking, we were talking about the lights at the tennis courts at our last meeting. And I was like, well, if the tennis courts are closed, we really don't need the lights right now. So.
Well, and that's exactly what we decided. We're going to wait on the lights for the tennis courts.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
Okay.
Catherine, we you have someone that's joined the meeting, if they could identify themselves, the 512-296 number.
Yeah, it was me. For some reason, the line hung up on me and I called back in.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so agenda item 15, report from the Deed Restrictions Committee. Okay, so now we're actually going to have sort of do the portion of the through the DRC meeting that we didn't get to have last week. So I'm going to turn this over to Jimmy and Diana.
We're here.
Okay.
We dropped off the packet with our hard copy of our notes that we had for February. As our meeting got postponed, I'm going to go ahead and try and cover some of the activity that we've had in March, because some of the issues that we had in February resolved themselves while we were waiting to have this discussion. So let me go ahead and update you on the boats, RVs, trailers, and unregistered vehicles. The RV on Spider Lily, the owner has made contact. The tenant is moving out. The van, the RV, has been sold and moved. The trailer does have boxes and furniture in it right now, but they're using it to move. The owner has asked for an appeal, but there really is no need for an appeal because they never got to fine stage with Sage. I know that we had moved them over to legal because we were not getting any communication from the tenant. And I'm not sure if Bill has gotten any response from them, but we did not have a fine. It was never posted to the account. So the appeal really is null and void at this point. Bill, do you have any info on that one?
Just pretty much what you reported. We had sent a demand letter on February 25 with a deadline of March 3rd. And then, at that point, they had the cord running from the RV, and this was the makeshift RV.
Yes.
I mean, this was really a problem. But yeah, we just have the same report that you have that you gave us just now.
The owner has reported that they were using the RV to transport one of the tenants who is undergoing medical treatment, and the downstairs of the house was not prepared for his stay. And while they were bringing in the medical equipment and staging that downstairs for him, he was staying comfortable in that van. But since the tenant is moving out because they have to find other living arrangements anyway, the van has been sold and it's gone. The boat on Dayflower, the owner did reach out to Sage. It was at the fine status. We did refer it to legal last month. It is no longer at the residence. It's cleared up. The unregistered vehicle on Peppergrass, it had accrued new fines. They did fix the flats at the beginning of March, but now it's gone. So it wasn't there last week. So that one is taken care of. The trailers on Mesquite and Terra Blanco, we've made 5 separate trips to visit with that homeowner. We have been unable to connect with them. We've had numerous complaints from neighbors that they're running a business out of that house. There is still AstroTurf, piles of it in the driveway, and 2 trailers. The trailers look like they've been red tagged, and they are at fine stage. And we did refer that one to legal, and we have sent all the new pictures to Allison's office. In February, the trash cans in view, there were a lot of them that were left and they were still full. In March, needless to say, they have not been full, but they're still out in view. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. Y'all hear me? All right. And the one thing that we did get a lot of pictures of this past week were the leaf bags, about 2,400 of them. So they did not get picked up, and that was on a Wednesday? Actually a Thursday, and the leaf bags had not been picked up.
Are you sure that that was just the more than 6 bags that did not get picked up? So you counted them before?
I haven't counted the pictures. Jimmy took an estimate, and this was only section 1 through 6. I can go back and count the bags, but there were bags pretty much, with everybody being home, they're all working on their yards, and there were a lot of leaves.
A lot of people complained that they only picked up 1 or 2 bags and left the rest. There was also people that got bags picked up and that were putting leaf bags out on Thursday, even though they knew that they had missed their trash pickup. They just chose to leave the bags at the street rather than at the garage.
Hey guys, this is Jana. Can you hear me?
Yes, Jana.
Yes.
Hey, I was walking around Cottonweed, Black Cherry, Red Bay area, and several people were talking to me back and forth about how they are doing their leaf bags and bundles of trees. And so we just have to look into waste management on Tuesday to see if they picked up. I have not seen. They did pick up my neighbors across the street. They had like several bags, and so we'll just have to check up on that.
Okay.
Chris, what do you have to say about that?
I just think until we change the contract with them, they're only going to pick up 6 bags.
Well, my neighbors only had a few out.
6 bags, 3 cubic yards?
Yeah, yes.
Well, we had said 6 bags, and that was something that we've been doing for years. And if we want to change it, we need to tell them we want to change it.
Okay, well, I don't think you are understanding what I'm saying. There's only been like 3 or 4 bags at certain houses on Cottonweed, Black Cherry, Loretta Wood, Red Bay, and I think
These were on Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, or
I think they started on Friday, and they just started putting them in their yards. And I'm not sure if they've been picked up. I haven't looked. My neighbors across the street have been picked up.
Yeah, I can only talk about the ones that I've seen when I walk my dogs, and I make a point of it. And, you know, they pick up 6 bags and no more.
Or 3 cubic yards.
I share my bags with my neighbors to make sure that they get picked up.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do want to, one of the things that has happened in the last 2 weeks, since people are at home and Jimmy was out driving around, people are flagging him over. And you do have residents that are trying to work around this and helping each other out. And if they know they have over too many bags, they have started partitioning them out to their neighbors. And
yeah,
that's a good idea.
And on those streets, they didn't get picked up either. So, I don't know what to tell you guys, because we're not there when they do pick them up. All we can do is tell you what we're seeing on Thursday after the fact, after they were supposed to get picked up.
I guess the real question is, when do they leave them out? Do they leave them out in time for them to get picked up on Tuesday?
In most cases, they're left out too early, or so they leave them out from the weekend before. The reports I was getting were more in the section 5 area, 4 and 5, and the neighbors are coordinating together and putting 2 or 3 bags out per house up and down a whole block worth. And this is because of the live oaks dropping. This is when there's a heavy leaf bag count. So,
and I think some of the confusion is also because it's on a rotating week. They're bi-weekly. Some people are still confused as to when is their day.
There's no bi-weekly pickup on leaves. That's every Tuesday.
Yeah.
The bi-weekly
On
for
the
recycling.
recycle cans is what I'm,
What?
on the
Oh, I
recycle
thought you were talking about bags of leaves.
we're talking about all of it. Trash cans in view,
Oh,
recycle,
well,
and
okay, you need to be specific because leaves are every week, recycling's every other week. Yeah, I don't know which one we're talking about.
okay, Chris, we were talking about the leaves. I have moved
Okay.
on to the recycling
Okay.
cans now because
Okay.
all three of them are an issue. Trash cans are an issue, recycle cans are an issue, and bags of leaves are an issue. I've gotten 3 calls on trash cans that are broken and recycle cans that are broken this week alone that they have been calling and their cans haven't been replaced. So that's the other thing on trash cans, bags, recycled.
And waste management, no, first of all, I'm not defending waste management. I'm telling you what they told me. They said with a one-man truck, they do not have time to get out of the truck and turn the trash can around in the proper direction. Oftentimes when they pick it up, when it's facing the wrong way, the handle will break. And they said this happens, probably regularly throughout the district. That's why the handles are breaking.
The reports I got were not on the handle. They were all on the bottom of the can and the wheels have broken off. The bottom of the can is cracked and stuff is leaking out of their can.
And some of the lids are broken as well.
Some of the what?
Some of the lids on top of the cans are broken.
The lids are broken.
Well, the lids are the handles. That's part of the handle.
No, like
Part
the
of the
lid.
contract is they have a customer service number. Are these people calling them directly or are they calling Lee?
What they have told me is that they're calling me. They're calling Sage after they have already tried waste management, and they have called the office. Some of these have been ongoing. They're not like a 2-week issue. Some of them are 2 or 3 months behind on getting their cans replaced.
Okay. Do you have a list of those by chance, Diana?
I can look them up.
Have you talked to Lee about this?
Yes,
she's
I have.
the one and she's the one that's responsible for coordinating all of this with waste management.
Lee has called. I have called Lee. We've spoken about it. She refers it to waste management in an email and a phone call, and we have just not gotten any response. Or
okay. It sounds like we have a problem. It sounds like we have a problem.
Yeah.
Well, what's happening is we have a communication problem because folks are contacting Mark, but then they're confused and they're also contacting Sage. So that's my concern. I just want.
They're not supposed to contact Sage. They're supposed to contact Infomark.
And
they do both.
They do
Yeah,
both.
I know.
And some of the complaints that we have gotten are people, since they're home, we've got people calling us complaining on their neighbors. My neighbor left their trash can out. My neighbor didn't, get their leaves picked up. So I'm getting those complaints also.
Is Lee on this phone call?
I didn't see her.
Yeah, I'm on the call.
Yeah, okay. But
Lee, what's going on?
It's not Lee's fault because, she's calling them. I relay the information to her and she calls and she emails.
I understand that. I'm just asking Lee to confirm this. Lee, is that what's going on? It's been months and nobody's getting any response?
I don't think so. I mean, I've relayed some of, addresses and problems that we have with damaged cans, or if something hasn't been picked up, to waste management. I mean, right now the response time is probably kind of laggy just due to the situation overall. As far as customer side and people contacting me regarding pickups this week, obviously it's been really quiet.
Sure, that's different. But I mean, months getting a new can.
It hasn't taken months lately. I mean, we had this problem last year, but it hasn't been months to get a new container anytime in the recent past.
Well, the resident that called yesterday said that she requested it 2 months ago, but, we just kind of worked through it. I've made a note of it, and it's one of our, I'll send you that email. I'll forward the email to you.
Okay, and they should be on Lee's list. if it's been 2 months ago.
I don't know if she called Lee or not. I am just telling you, Chris, what she reported to us.
Okay. Well, I understand why Waste Management is not responding specifically to residents, because their customer is us, not the residents. Now, there's a problem, okay? And if they're not doing anything, at least sending the call over to our contact with Waste Management, that's a problem. But I'd like to find out, you know, why we're not getting any service from Waste Management.
I agree.
I'll talk to
Okay,
Paul
so-
tomorrow and find out the problem.
Please
Okay, so-
do. Because, yeah.
So if you've got if your can is broken, you're not supposed to call Waste Management directly?
I thought you were. You can
Me
call
too.
them. You can call a customer service number, and they will
What are you
issue
telling
an
our
order for a
residents?
new can.
Well,
The
my
typical protocol
understanding
is that they will call our office or email garbage-recycling@inframark.com, and from there I can forward their request onto Waste Management and give them an ETA. Usually with replacement containers, they will replace them on the pickup day, which is Monday. It has been the protocol so far.
Thank you, Lee. That was my understanding as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so can we get like a channel of communication? Like say, instead of, if they call you, say, can you please call Infomark, talk to Lee, file a complaint? That way
We are
we can
doing
have
that.
a record.
I thought we'd done that.
We are doing that.
I thought so. But we can't keep them from calling Sage.
I think that the thing that's happening is you have a lot of people at home. They're all working in the yards. They're, you know, we're just getting complaints from neighbors reporting on other neighbors about their trash cans.
Right. I'll talk to Paul tomorrow.
All right, call me after, let me know.
And there's some
Okay.
residents that will call and file a complaint, and we have no idea, did they call Infomark? Did they call Waste Management? All I can report is what they're
understand.
telling me.
It's just real hard to, with the protocol being contacting Infomark Lee, who checks up on everything, it's real hard to hold them accountable when they don't get the call and they go straight to Waste Management. We can't keep our residents from calling them, and I feel sorry for them. I mean, they should get a new can before next week, and I thought that's what was happening. I'll find out what's going on.
Okay.
Okay.
Are y'all ready
So,
to move on?
Thanks,
I was
Chris.
just gonna make a comment though. In my understanding is that we're having a problem with trash cans being damaged because they're facing the wrong direction. Is that what's happening?
I can't talk specifically, but I do know when they're facing the wrong direction and they pick it up with that one-man truck, that oftentimes it breaks the handle. Now, I don't know if that's the case in all these that we're hearing, because, you know, most of the time that one-man truck sets it right back down there, and it can't go any lower than what the than what the arm on the truck goes. So they're not throwing them, they're not rolling them down the street, but there's obviously a problem we need to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. People need to know. And
This is Louis. Chris and Art, what obligation does Waste Management have if they come up to a house and the garbage can is facing in the wrong direction? Do they have any obligation to deal with it, or can they just pass it by? Do they try to get it?
They pick it up the best they can.
They pick it up.
They hope they don't break the handle.
And I've seen them do that, Louis. My neighbor just moved in down the street and he had it the wrong direction. And they got out, rotated it, picked it up, you know, so they are doing it.
The guy got out of the truck and rotated it.
Right.
Yeah, and that does not happen all the time.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's exactly what's not happening. They're just trying to pick it up even though it's facing the wrong direction. And so then they break the garbage can. So that's why I asked what obligation they have. Because
let me chime in. This is Jana.
yeah.
This is my understanding of what Waste Management does. when I went to one meeting because Art could not attend, they were going to just do the arm, whatever it's called, the arm that comes out from the truck, and throw it into the trash. Now it's kind of still a new thing, and so many people don't understand that you're supposed to put your trash cans out at the curb there's directions on it, and that little clamp where the car comes up and picks your trash can up and throw it into the truck. So I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out. Chris, you go on with that one.
Well, it's been written on the trash can since the day they got it. Some people, 27 years. Now, I've always said when they were doing it with the two guys on the back, it was easier for it to face the other way because they would grab it by the handle and put it on the back of the truck. But now with the one-man truck, it's got to be facing out with the handle towards the house.
Yeah. I saw it for the first time this week.
Some houses they've done this. They've been doing it. Some houses sections for a month, and then they're slowly getting where the whole district will be done by just the one-man truck. I thought by now it's all by the one-man truck.
I did too. I thought they were going to have that done before the year end.
I think they have. I have not seen any two-man trucks, but I'm only on a couple streets. I don't drive around the district and follow them around.
I've seen two-man trucks because they're concerned about picking up people's trash.
And this is not on large item day, or recycle is also used in the one-man trucks.
Correct.
But there are some two-man trucks left apparently. But
I think
still, they still need to have the trash cans facing out.
Well, we can let people know, and I think we should.
Lee, haven't we put that on the letter?
Sorry, what was that?
Haven't we told the residents about the trash cans spacing out?
Yeah, so it went out with the trash and or the recycling calendar that we sent out with the bills in January, I believe, and it's also on the website calendar as well.
Then that's usually on people's refrigerator. I don't know, it's on mine. So.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Chris. Let's go on to the next agenda item, Catherine.
Okay.
Enough trash talk.
Enough trash talk. Do you wish for us to continue monitoring?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask for clarification on one item that said recorded? Diana, you were talking about the two trailers that you referred to legal.
Yes.
Is that on Tierra Blanca on Section 5? Is that the issue?
Yeah, it was on the corner of Mesquite and Terra Blanco.
Okay, so when you say you refer to legal, actually you sent us the materials, but I don't think the board voted to refer to legal.
They hadn't yet. They were going to talk about it today to move it.
Oh, okay. Yes. I thought we'd already done that. Yeah, we need, I move that we refer this to legal. That, the house on that corner with all the AstroTurf. I need a second, guys.
I think I shouldn't vote on this one because I kind of came in late, so.
I'll second, but I thought we had already said that to legal, but that's Tierra Blanco and
we only discussed it.
Oh, it's a different house apparently.
We didn't get to meet on the March 16th meeting, so it got postponed to today for y'all to vote on it.
I see.
Okay.
And that's at the corner of Terra Blanco and Mesquite, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll move that we refer it to legal.
Okay. I'll second that. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Luis says aye.
Okay, good. Okay.
Overnight parking. We toured last night. there were 7 to 8 cars out. Most of them we have a history with already. The ones that let us know that they were going to be having extra cars, we were aware, and Jimmy was able to talk to them, and we're going to work with them to find them a place for them to park those cars as we go through this. But that was just 2, you know, that we were dealing with extra cars because kids being home. They will get a friendly reminding them of the rules so that we stay with the protocol, but we all know that this is a special time and we're trying to work with people. The good thing is that throughout the past year, Jim has gotten to know a lot of the residents, and it's gotten easier. They will flag him down and they'll talk to him. Of course, we maintain the social distance that was required, even if they came up to the window, you know, at night. So that is the one benefit, is that both day tour and night tour, since this whole virus thing started, people are actually reaching out and they're telling us thank you for coming out and being available to help them through some, you know, whatever it is that they have, whether it's their neighbor has open storage or whether it's the leaves or, you know, the parking situation. We had at least a dozen people come out and say thank you.
I love that. Thank you, Diana, for saying that. It's really nice to see the community coming together. And yes, Jimmy, thank you for coming by yesterday and being like close to my yard and waving with your dogs. And yay, Posey. Hi, Posey. Okay.
There's Posey. All right. I'm moving on to the fencing issues. We only have one at this point. The other one that was a problem that we've been talking about has been resolved, but Valente Hills, their HOA reached out to us because they have had a resident that has had a fallen fence or broken fence, and they've been going round and round with them. We are at the second fine letter, and the resident is no longer answering the door. And so I wanted to go ahead and see if the board wants to move it over to legal, because the HOA has asked for our help in that manner.
Okay.
There's some other issues.
Do we have anybody on the, we don't have anybody from Valente Hills on the line. Okay.
No.
Okay. So is this the one where they were having the same guy having the issue about the naked neighbor?
Yes.
Okay, the naked neighbor, okay.
This is Luis. I'll move that we refer this case to legal.
Yes.
Second.
Okay.
I'd like to,
any discussion?
Well, I'd like to know more. I'd like to know more information, but I guess I can at this time, so I don't have a discussion on that.
Well, okay, so the high level explanation is that this neighbor has had a fence problem that the Valente Hills HOA has not been able to get them to fix, and this particular neighbor has a tendency to walk around in the nude without any curtains on his door, on the window, shades on the window, and that is becoming an issue also. Yeah. Oh, he walks in his backyard too. Okay. So, anyway,
sorry, that's even worse.
And
so, which one of those activities?
The children in the neighborhood that live around him, they want our help trying to get at least the fence fixed, so that they can have some privacy from. I mean, he can do what he wants in his house, but
we've been discussing this. We've been discussing this issue for several months, I believe, or at least a couple.
Right.
Months.
Yeah,
And,
we're up at fine tube number 2.
Yeah, and you've not been able to resolve it, which is why I'm suggesting we refer it to legal. And
he claimed at the meeting that he had filed an ACC with Valente Hills. When we checked back, they could not find any record of him having a discussion with the board or filing an ACC request, because he wants a certain type of fence.
Okay, so we're not maintaining that his flashing the neighborhood is a violation, just the fence, is that correct?
It's the fence.
you're smiling just a little bit there as you say that, Louis.
I was going to ask Bill for a legal opinion whether flashing is a violation.
You know, it's like, you know, that mustache sort of hides it just a little bit.
Bill, do you have a legal opinion about flashing?
Please,
On
no legal opinion.
I mean, it is a serious issue if the person is creating a nuisance. It sounds like the nuisance is related to the fence being down primarily, though. So I think we focus on the fence for now.
The residents around him have put in shutters and blinds so that their children will not be exposed because they haven't been able to fix it with the resident himself.
Have they called law enforcement?
I'm not sure. I can check with their management. It would be Travis County, though.
So somebody should report it to law enforcement, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I will make a note in that, add it to the email when I send it to Sabrina tomorrow.
Okay, so we have a motion.
What's the address again?
Thanks, Diana.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion to.
Jimmy's getting ready to send it to you. Do we text it or do we?
To Bill?
Go ahead, Catherine. What's your motion?
Okay, we have a motion. Did we have a second?
I made the motion. Somebody else needs to.
I second.
Okay, we've got a second. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Luis says aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion passes. Okay,
that's
keep going.
That's your summary of violations. Are we ready to move on to the fines and the pending fines in advance?
Sure.
Can I actually ask if Chris was an aye for that vote?
Yes, I said aye.
Okay, I didn't hear you. I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Lee. All right, we had fines in advance for a property on Madeline. The owner has cleaned up the front yard and the backyard. He trimmed all the trees and put all the things on our recommendation because there were so many tree limbs and we weren't sure what date the tree limbs were going to get picked up. He piled them up nicely in the backyard and was going to be putting them out so they could get picked up little by little. He had close to $2,000 fines in advance for the trailer, the scooter, and the backyard. The back fence has been patched. He has plans to change out the back fence. He just hasn't gotten to it yet. And there had been a lot of rain at the time and he wasn't able to work on it. But we had given him until March 1 on those fines in advance, and the board needs to decide what they want to do with those fines.
Okay, so refresh my memory. This is Hunter's Blend, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Hunter's Blend
Okay.
1.
Right. And is Julie still on the call? No. Well, right now we're not. There isn't going to be any disconnects for not paying your fines. What I would like to do is keep them in abeyance until we can talk with Julie Potts with the HOA, because in the past she has said, I don't want you to just go out and waive everything. We've been working with this man trying to get him to clean up his yard for 2 years. And so I suggest that we wait and discuss this further with the HOA.
All right. Catherine, Julie Potts had called me earlier and she was wondering how much legal expense we had incurred trying to get this taken care of.
I don't know the answer to that. Bill, is that something that you can come up with?
This case is illegal, isn't it?
Yes. We sent them a demand letter, or Bill sent them a demand letter.
Yeah, it was referred to us back in October of 2019. And then we sent a second letter on additional violations. And then this is the one that we sent a follow-up letter to remind them of the deadline that was sent. So roughly speaking, there's, 3 letters and some back and forth activity. I mean, it's certainly probably less than $1,000.
Okay. I will let her know. I think our conversation, she relayed to us that she wanted the homeowner to at least be responsible for legal costs at this point.
Okay.
So
I'm just sharing that with the board. Those were her wishes. You all can discuss it and figure out how you want to go from there.
So this is Luis, and I have a question. In this case, it's been around for a long time. It's been around even longer for Hunter's Glen. We're not cutting off water, but that doesn't mean that we cannot continue to proceed with legal action against these folks, right?
Yeah, that's
correct.
was my opinion too. Yeah.
That's correct. However, you can understand there's going to be some slowness in the courts because they're going to change their procedure. So as far as going forward with legal letters and even filing the lawsuit, that'll go forward pretty much normally. Once we file a lawsuit, we may have some place to get heard.
Everything's been cleaned up, though.
My concern was I didn't want us to stop the legal action just because we're not cutting off people's water.
Yeah, and I agree you can do that.
Thank you.
That was my understanding of what we agreed to do also. Okay, so what we're gonna do is get back, have Bill give a more precise number to Diana, or get that, or convey that to Julie Potts. But I think we need to. I still think we need to get a response with Julie Potts. So I'd say let's have the DRC committee meet with the Hunters Glen HOA between now and the next in the next meeting, and we'll make a recommendation at the next meeting as to how to proceed.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, that's what we'll do then. Okay, what's next, Diana? You there?
Jimmy muted me here and I didn't realize it.
Oh, okay. You're talking away, huh?
Yeah. Do we have a date for the next DRC meeting? Are we going to want to do it separate or continue with the way we're doing it today?
Well,
I would rather have a DRC meet. We'll have a virtual DRC meeting next month. And there's nothing preventing us from having a DRC subcommittee meeting. Rather than, since we're not going to be able to meet, I've got GoToMeeting, so we can do a GoToMeeting, which is the same thing as doing a Zoom. So I can send an invitation out for that.
All right, because I know Julie's going to ask me for a date, so I was just trying to.
Yeah. So let's
So we can have a DRC committee meeting, just the two of us, with the SAGE, and then we can have a DRC board meeting, but that would be on this, using this app.
Right. So I'm just assuming that we're going to have that next April, May, June probably are going to be virtual meetings, and we're going to have a separate meeting for DRC and a separate meeting for the regular board.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I will let her know.
Okay.
Alrighty. I'm going to move on to, we had a trailer issue at Black Cherry with 9 fines. Demand letter was sent by Willett and Flickinger. The trailer is now gone. The open storage is now gone as of last week.
Okay.
So that cleared up in March, but we still have several fines, and I think they're on a payment plan.
I spoke with them a while ago, and they understood that they had to do that mail in.
Okay. Then we also had an unregistered car at 1311 Black Cherry, and that one has also been moved and gone. It never made it to fine stage, but one of our board members was approached with help on that one, and it has now been resolved. I'm moving on to 2202 London Lane. We had an overnight violation in February. I did notify legal because we were waiting on a new violation to continue with the lawsuit, and I think it's on our agenda to discuss a little bit later.
Diana, if I could interrupt.
Yes.
The update on 2202 London Lane is the lawsuit has been filed, and it was filed on March 20th, or March 11th. And then the owner will get served with process and have to answer. So that has been moved along.
Okay. Was it out there last night?
It was not there last night.
It was not out there last night. It was out there in February, during the February tour.
Keep tracking it, the violation.
Okay.
But we did go ahead and file the lawsuit based on the current violation.
All right. Thank you. The unregistered vehicle on Peppergrass, the tires were fixed and now it's gone, but they do have 7 fines. As far as I know, they have been paying on the account and been paying the fines.
Diana, have they ever had a waiver?
They didn't ask for a waiver. Jimmy
So-
spoke to the gentleman and they have not asked for a waiver. He was working on getting it fixed and he did.
So it's clear now, so maybe you could
Yes.
let them know that if they ask for a waiver, they'll probably get it since it's been cleared.
Okay, I can send them a letter. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hey.
And 1812.
Okay, we had another property that also had fines in advance. They had until March the 1st to address an unregistered vehicle that was on Old Mill. The trailer was back and in front of the property for approximately 10 to 12 days. They did get a 3rd fine letter for the trailer. They had 2 fines that were waived back in December of 2019 for the trailer, and they had a $100 fine in advance on the unregistered car. And they were given until March the 1st to do something about that car. It's now up to the board to decide what they want to do about the fines in advance and what further action they want to take.
This case was never referred to legal, correct?
It hasn't been, you all haven't voted on it.
Nope, I am.
So I move that we refer this case to legal.
Yeah.
It's an intractable case.
I'll second
It is.
that.
Before you vote on
Okay.
that, this Old Mill address, I believe the owners came to a meeting in person. Is that correct, Diana?
Yes.
Yes.
Months ago, husband
Yes.
and wife. And
Yes.
after the board heard their situation, they represented the trailers were gone, not coming back. And the husband was given some time to get rid of a car that he was having trouble getting rid of. He thought it would be repossessed. He was hoping to be repossessed and it wouldn't. And then the board decided to give them some time. So I don't know. I think we may have written them a letter before they came to the meeting. So this would be like a re-referral to legal.
Okay.
Bill, are you saying it was referred to you before?
I believe we did send them a letter before they came to the meeting because they referred to your attorney sending them a really mean letter. So I don't have it on my list right now, but that probably means that we took it off. So
What I recall is the husband and wife both came to the meeting, and he said he could not get rid of the car. It was not registered, but he could not deal with it because he couldn't sell it to anyone. And we gave him some time to do so. And as I understand it, it's still there.
Yes, it is still there. In the
So
same place it was back in December.
I think we go to legal with this one. I move it to legal.
And I second that.
Okay. So everyone say aye with your name. Aye, Catherine.
Aye, Louise.
Like this. Hi, Art.
Hi, Jana.
Okay, that's okay. Keep going, Diana.
Yay. Okay, that's all we had on those pending.
Jan's still with us.
Too legal. We have 2 appeals. One was for a trash can in view, and on Dayflower, they said that because of the rain, it was too muddy and they couldn't get it in the backyard, but they said it's a fix now. And they're asking for you to waive their appeals. I think they were up to 2.
Their fines, you mean? Waive their fines?
Yes.
So have they had fines in the past?
They've only had this fine. This is the first time.
Okay. Okay, so this is on Dayflower?
Yes.
Okay. So I move that we waive the fines for the trash cans on Dayflower Trace.
I second the motion.
Okay. All in favor, say aye with your name. Aye, Catherine.
Aye.
Aye, Luis.
Aye, Art.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Jana.
Okay.
All
Next one.
We had a medical issue on Raflin. It was a third-party appeal. The girlfriend of the son of the account holder wanted to appeal her overnight parking fines. They're dealing with dementia, and apparently what we were told was that the letters and all the letters that they had gotten were hidden from them, from the person that has the dementia, and right now it's all hands on deck trying to take care of this family member. And so they were they had 2 fines, and with them moving the family member into some other type of care, their car situation should be resolved soon.
They have not had any parking issues for 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just didn't know because the mail was disappearing.
This is Luis. Do we have any previous waivers for them?
No.
We
have no history at this house for that. This is new.
And no other fines. This is Jana.
No other fines.
So I move that we waive the fine.
Okay.
I second that.
Okay. Okay, everybody say aye with your name. Aye, Catherine.
Aye, Art.
Hi, Jana.
This is Luis. I say aye.
I got a response from Chris.
Yo, Chris. Yep.
Well, I think it passes.
Okay.
The ayes have it.
I will send her a note, and I will send the account holder an email also. They just have a lot on their plate right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
The only other change that I made on your activity sheet,
Uh-oh. I lost William.
That's who?
I lost Diana's volume.
you know,
She pressed mute.
you can have the most current information on what complaints are coming in and phone calls are coming in and things that we're working on. The good thing is it's not always complaints. The last 2 weeks, for certain sections, like sections 1 through 5, we have had neighbors tattletelling on each other, but the other sections have been awesome because they're all calling in to say thank you and what can we do for this, or how can we stay in compliance during this time period? Help us out, you know, give us some guidance. So that tells us that the community building that we wanted to establish, it's there. So we're real happy about that.
Great.
Hey, while I've got everybody here real quick, I've got an issue. I got a neighbor that bought the house next door to them and's given it to his son. Well, they had gotten a fence letter and they tore down the old fence, and I helped him get the pickets off the posts and the runners, and they picked up all the pickets today, but all the runners are still sitting on the curb. And he's looking to me like, well, what should I do about this? Does anybody remember what has to be done to a fence to have Waste Management pick it up?
Somebody can make some birdhouses out of them.
Yeah, well, that's what they did with the pickets. Everybody took all the pickets. They're gone. It's the runners. I cut them off at above and below the runners, so they've got 4 foot. These are 4 feet long. I thought they would pick up 4 feet, but they didn't.
Chris, I would look to you for an answer for that question.
I would agree. That's your committee.
Well, I'm gonna try to bundle them in like bundles of 2, because much more than that, they're too heavy. I mean, if you would have put 4, they're too heavy, 4 foot. But I'll go ahead and then the other thing is, don't laugh. He's got big old chunks of concrete that were around the post. Well, we cut off the post at the top of the concrete, and I took a sledgehammer and beat all but 2 of the concrete chunks to nothing. But he's got 2 big old pieces, and I've tried. There's just no way. I told him, I asked Bob Baumgart, he said he puts a little couple pieces at a time in the trash, and over time, Waste Management picks them up. But I don't know what else he can do with these things. They're pretty big.
Chris, maybe we can do a YouTube video and try to figure out something about this.
Well, that's a good idea, Janet. Maybe I can go online and see what people say about it. But man, these are 29-year-old pieces of concrete, and they're like granite. You cannot break them.
That's true. You
And
can.
how much do they weigh? How much do they weigh?
Oh man, the big ones probably at least 50 pounds.
Yeah, they're big.
Chris, is that the corner of Hackberry and Lobelia?
Yep, that's it.
Boy, you know your maps.
Aren't they taken to the dump or something?
Well, that's what I might have to tell him that, but you're just going to have to. But I know they've picked up these things before, and I guess I'm going to call Waste Management tomorrow. Let me find out. Maybe we've got him in a position where they'll tell me what to do to pick it up.
Hey, Chris, when you do that, can you maybe do a meeting with the Art, because he's on that management committee with you?
Sure,
yeah.
I can get him on the phone. I'll get him on the phone and we'll do it.
Yeah, I'll send you the address of that broken trash can later tonight.
Okay. Send it to me, because I don't deny anything you told me. It's just I know that they don't follow behind them. So they've got to get complaints. That's the only way they can figure out what's going on. But and I don't do enough sampling. I just see my street, Dayflower, and Old Mill. So they could be doing this somewhere else, just not picking it up.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
I think that's it for the management report. You have some other B, C, D, and E.
Okay.
You already covered F, and then you had G, and I don't have the approval of I don't have the minutes.
Diana, we attached the minutes to the invite as
Okay.
Agenda item 15H. So the board can take it up if they want to vote on those and get those approved.
Okay.
This is Luis. I reviewed the minutes and I move that we approve them.
I'll second.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, everyone say aye with their name. Aye, Catherine.
Hi, Chris.
Aye, Luis.
I, Jana, but I have not reviewed the minutes at this time, so I guess I should abstain from this one. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
No, Lewis said he read them.
Okay. So, Jay, do we have anything to discuss about 15J lawsuit owner 2202 London Lane?
No, there's nothing else to discuss that I'm aware of.
Okay, so we're done with everything on 15.
Yes, we're done. I would mention the contract amendment with Sage still pending. I haven't been able to finalize that to get it to DRC yet, but do not to get it done so that you guys can look at it and then maybe present it at the next DRC meeting.
We're still working.
Okay, agenda item 16, report from the investment committee. Do we have anything to report?
Nothing to report.
No. Okay. Agenda item 17, report from the audit committee. 17A,
Nothing
arbitrage and yield restrictions analysis.
We don't have the report yet from the arbitrage company, so I don't think there's anything to discuss.
Okay. Agenda item 18, report from the bills and invoices committee.
No, I think Chrissy covered everything, right, Jenna?
Well, I wasn't there at the time,
Oh.
so. I didn't
Well,
hear that part
the
of it.
checks are gonna be at the Infomark office for you all to, Lucy's gonna go by and sign them. That's the only pending issue.
I'll go by and sign also. Okay, so.
Catherine, on 18B, that's still pending. We're going to look at amending the Code of Ethics reimbursement policy to address some of the things we talked about previously. I just haven't had a chance to get Bills and Invoice Committee to work on it yet.
Okay.
We were going to meet in person and then everything changed, so we couldn't do that. So we'll have to get together.
Okay. Okay.
But one question right here on my side, this is Jana. There wasn't the entire invoice there, and there's going to be a supplement. That's my understanding, and I missed the first part of the meeting because I was working. So.
Yeah, Jana, this is Michael Luft from Infomark. There were 4 supplemental checks for 4 of the directors, everyone but Art. And so those will need 3 signatures, and Christy will have them at the office tomorrow morning. And that on yours includes the mileage and the tolls that you noted. So if that was part of your question, that is there and will be ready for signature.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. There was also the constables weren't on there, and Sunscape.
Yeah, the constables were paid by manager's check, and so Infomark is getting those signed, and they'll be ready for pickup. I'm not 100% sure where they'll be picking them up, but we are in the process of getting them signed. Either Christy or Mackenzie might be able to answer the question about whether they're going to pick them up from the WTC1 office or from the Austin office. They dropped the invoices off at the Austin office, so I'm not sure where they were going to pick them up, but they have been prepared and they'll be ready Friday for pickup.
Yes, I've contacted them, so we'll be in touch with them to make arrangements for them to pick them up. And Sunscapes did not send an invoice. That's why they didn't get paid.
Oh, okay. What that was all about. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, so agenda item 19, report from the budget committee.
I think we've already gone over the budget.
Well,
Okay.
Art and I have talked about it, and you covered the rest. So.
Okay. Okay. Agenda item 20, report from the customer care committee. I have nothing to report. I don't have anything on A, answers to prior questions from residents, or B, online postings, inaccurate, misleading sites. How about you,
I
Louis?
agree. I agree.
Okay. Okay, so agenda item 21, video recording of board meetings by district. Do we have anything to discuss there?
Catherine, I would just let the board know that under the governor's order, all these virtual meetings are being recorded, and we're submitting it to the Touchstone people that do your recording and posting on the website. And I understand that they're going to take that video and timestamp it and get it on the website. I don't know if our last meeting has made it to the website yet, but we're processing it in that manner. And Louis, I don't know if you have comments on that as well.
So I can add that this afternoon.
I'm sorry, Louis. I didn't mean to overtalk you, but I think that we got an email today from Touchstone about the email and about the recording, and it's, I think, on the website now. Is that correct, Lee?
That's correct.
We got an email that he had sent it down, and Lee, you've been able to already post it?
Yes, it's posted.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item 22, report from the Information Management Committee. District website. Have we had any website requirements that have come out with the COVID-19 that were any changes that way?
The one change we have is that we, in addition to posting the agenda on the website, we need to post the agenda package so that people that call in can address the website and get the documents. So that's been an additional requirement. But other than that, nothing that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Christy might have some comment on it.
I just wanted to mention that Lewis and Jana and Lee have worked really hard on the website. We've set up, or Lee has set up, a separate tab for the COVID-19 on important information and links. So if you haven't gone and looked at it, take a look at it. There's some good information there for the district and the community.
Okay.
Thanks, Christy.
22B, cybersecurity training. Has anything happened with this yet?
We're still waiting for an update on some of the courses, and we'll get those to you. You have till June 14 to do that.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's actually going to come up pretty quickly. Okay, 23, report from the Infrastructure Committee. Is there anything here that we haven't discussed already? I'm wondering about, okay.
Lewis,
you're on mute.
Yeah, Lewis, we can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. We spoke recently about, earlier in the meeting, about suspending the sidewalk improvement work, and that Art and I have agreed to that.
Okay. What about 23H, Beacon AMA Management Solution?
Yeah, attached. This is the software agreement with Beacon for the electronic meters. It's attached as item 23.
Yeah, 23H.
It's a rather big document. I reviewed it. We requested some changes from the Badger attorneys, and they agreed to them. I think the Infrastructure Committee has reviewed this document as well. It's basically the agreement to have the software that goes with the electronic meters, and you get charged per meter that are connected per month. So I think it's about 87 cents or so per month with an annual increase calculation. So I'll turn it over to Lewis and Art to see if they have a recommendation.
I believe, Bill, that the main stumbling point was that originally they claimed that the entire contract would be confidential, and you worked through that and eliminated that issue. So eliminating that issue, do we have any other outstanding issues with the contract? I think not. Is that correct?
That's correct. There are no more issues, and you're right. Originally, the contract itself was confidential, and then they had some provisions on keeping a lot of information confidential. So in order to present this in a public forum, they did agree that the agreement itself was not confidential, and we inserted a process whereby they have to actually tag documents confidential, and if we get a request, open records request for that document, we notify them, and they're the ones that have to go to the AG to protect it instead of us.
Oh, okay.
If Art's comfortable, I would move to accept the agreement as negotiated by our attorney.
I am. I would agree with you.
Okay. So now, and so just so I'm clear, this really only is about once we move to having the electronic meters, if once we go that way.
Well,
So this is just about putting dominoes in place.
Remember, we have the electronic meters in place, and as they go in place, they would come under this contract.
Right. Well, right now we've only got 5. That's what I'm saying, or 7 or something like that.
But we just bought 50 to start putting in to replace meters that age out.
We've
It's part of the meter replacement program now.
Yeah.
Christy, go ahead and talk.
Yes, we've actually started our regular meter replacement program. So we have several Badger meters installed now. So when this contract is approved, if it's approved, then all we have to do is put the antennas on and those people will have access to the ion water.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is we're not right now looking at a total replacement of every meter in the system in the district. What we're looking for is a gradual rollout, and that's what this contract is covering.
Okay, so the way I see it, we have two phases. One phase is the regular meter replacement, which we have decided the regular meter replacement will use these meters, but they come on. The whole replacement of all the meters would occur under the bond if we decide to go with it. Is that correct, Christy?
That's correct.
Hey, y'all that aren't talking, please mute because I got a lot of music over.
That would be Chris Rocco.
Yes.
I hit it accidentally, sorry.
Please tell me you're not seeing me right now.
I'm not what?
Okay. Okay. So we have a recommendation. We have a motion to accept the contract. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I think Art seconded it.
Okay. Do we have any more discussion?
I just need more information, but I think at this time, I don't think I have any questions right now. I'm good.
Okay. Okay. So all in favor, say aye with your name. Aye, Catherine.
Aye, Luis.
Aye, Art.
Aye, Jana, with questions in the
Chris.
future.
Okay. Okay. What's next? Where were we?
24.
24. Okay. Report from Management Committee.
I'm on that committee, right? I have no updates.
Okay. Okay. Report from the Solid Waste Committee. I think we've sort of beat that
We're
dead
on that
horse,
committee
haven't
too.
we?
We just talked about
Yeah,
that.
I'll find out something tomorrow.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
the trash talk.
Right, that's right, the trash talk. Okay, agenda item 26, report from the Records Modernization Committee.
We are
We
still
haven't
working
had
on
a second meeting yet.
Chris,
Who
do you
is,
want to
that's,
talk first?
is it Chris and Jana?
Yes.
Yeah, we've met once.
And we're
That's
still
it?
working on it.
We're
Okay.
still working on it.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
we'll schedule another meeting in the very near future, Chris and Jana, to get that going again.
Okay.
Thanks, Christy.
I'm here all day.
I'm pretty much here all day as well.
Yeah, me too. Okay, agenda item 27, service provider vendor evaluations. I don't know, has anything been done with this?
We are working on that. Mackenzie, that's one of her tasks. So she's going through all the contracts. So it's a win-win. She gets to understand the vendor contracts and evaluate them. So we're working on that. Hopefully for the April meeting, we'll have some information for you.
Okay, glad to hear it. Agenda item 28, traffic hazards in districts. Request to county to restrict through traffic. That's a standing agenda item. Is there anything to discuss?
Nope.
Okay.
I want to make sure that item stays on the agenda because that's really an important issue that we're going to have to address at some point successfully.
Okay. Okay, agenda item 29, license agreement with Williamson and Travis counties for solar speed signs. What do you have to tell us?
I think, Catherine, I think we're there. I'll check with Allison in the morning, but I think we've got that finalized into the county, but I'll double check.
Okay. Now, what I remember at one of the last meetings is we compromised on the type of sign for a crosswalk or something like that. Were they going to put that sign in, or were we going to do it?
Yeah, that was one of the things we were going to ask the county, so I'll have to double check on that. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, Bill, as I understand it, we're talking about Travis because Williamson has been a total 0, right?
Correct.
Travis said they were going to do it.
Yes, Liz, just
I have
talk
a quick question.
Travis.
Go ahead, Jana.
Oh, okay. So regarding the crosswalk sign on Anderson Mill and Dias, it was an add-on to the solar signs with the speed signs. So it was not like Bill just took that on. We kind of added that on with the solar signs because we were concerned about that crosswalk. So
Okay. But I thought we were also talking about the crosswalk on Dagama, also next to the, at that T intersection. That was the one I was referring to, I thought.
Oh, I was referring to the other one. I must have been.
Okay.
I don't have the agenda in front of me. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, agenda item 30, minutes from prior meetings or special meetings. I don't
The
think
minutes aren't ready yet, so they aren't included in the packet.
They're
I'll
not
have
in the
them for
packet?
you next month.
Okay. Well, unless there's anything that I've missed, I just need somebody to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, somebody second it.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll say aye.
Aye from
Aye,
Art.
Catherine.
Aye from Art.
Okay.
Hi, Louise.
This
Good night.
meeting is adjourned. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience.
Thank you.
This has been a long meeting.
Night.
Good night,
Thank
guys.
you.